From minecarts that defy physics to a way to breathe underwater forever! These are the best Minecraft facts of 2025. Everyone knows the easiest way to break a server is to get admin and then ban everyone or turn the server off. But this is boring! Instead, why not try and be a bit more creative if you get a hold of admin? When you get your hands on these powers, give yourself a command block. Then you want to set it to repeat mode and then run the command /execute at E-run, summon pig, which will spawn countless pigs on your friends, leading to one of the most buggy and server-destroying bacon farms ever found in Minecraft. It does taste delicious though. But what if you want to destroy your friend's server but do not have access to commands? Well, how about creating one of the buggiest and glitchiest builds possible? And the best part is, all you need is a load of wooden planks. By making a giant platform in the sky and then filling it with boats, you do two things. Firstly, by creating loads of boats, you will easily lag out the server. But it gets better, because when you eventually drop the boats, any mobs that have spawned in will be stuck in them, making getting rid of them so much harder. One of the best ways you can completely destroy your friend's Minecraft server actually presents itself as a harmless prank. When your friends log off for the night, you want to sneak over to their base and chop down all of their trees and steal all of their saplings. Wow, that alone is cruel. But you can take this prank one step further, simply by replacing all of their trees with nether trees. Not only do they look ugly in the overworld, but the fake leaves they have do not decay, forcing your friend to spend ages breaking and destroying all of them. Bedrock has some major issues with world generation, and one of these is the stripe land. This immensely buggy, almost void-like glitch can only be found when you travel over 16 million blocks away, which is very far when you're playing on Bedrock. Just gotta keep going! Crafting a boat in Java is very weird. Wait, where did these paddles come from? Thankfully, Bedrock Edition has a far better system for explaining this law-breaking feature. You need to craft a boat by adding in a shovel to be used as the paddles. Now this makes so much more sense. I tend to play Minecraft for a long time every day. However, when I need to get food or a drink, I always make sure to pause my game. This way, no mobs can come and steal my diamonds while I am away. However, with Bedrock Edition, this seems like a luxury, as in this version, pausing your game will not stop anything, as you can still be hit by mobs or have your valuable diamonds stolen. Wait! Bring them back! World generation is very different between Bedrock and Java Edition. However, Bedrock Edition has an entirely exclusive item. This is the Jigsaw block, a block that you cannot obtain naturally in Bedrock Edition, but it exists nonetheless. This block is responsible for the generation of structures like villages and pillager outposts. All this power in my hand! I desperately need to find a way to hide all of my diamonds. I keep seeing the villagers eyeing them up, so I will use the next exclusive feature to do just that. In Minecraft Bedrock Edition, it is actually possible to move functional blocks like the chest, hopper, furnaces, and even a brewing stand by using pistons. This will make hiding my valuables so much easier. I swear this next feature did at one point exist in Java Edition, but I could be entirely wrong. In Minecraft Bedrock Edition, it is actually possible to craft a cobweb into 9 string. This makes those annoying cave spider spawners far better for gathering string than even the spider themselves. So next time you find yourself one of these spawners, be sure to grab all the cobwebs, but make sure not to get stuck in one. Ah, get away from me! I have just sheared all of my sheep, but now I cannot figure out which of them I have dyed and which one of them I have not. This is so frustrating! Well, in Bedrock Edition, the sheep will actually retain their wool color after they have been sheared, meaning you'll be able to see the pink color underneath their skin. Ah, this is much nicer. This lava doesn't hurt me at all! That's because it's a lava spawner and not actual lava. It acts as a solid block, but can be built upon, doesn't set anything on fire, and doesn't emit any light. The purpose of it was to generate lava all around it. It would create real lava blocks over time that would act like normal lava. So technically you could build a wooden house on it, but it wouldn't last long. Some of Minecraft's great mysteries were lost in patches too. In Java Edition 1.2.1, Sandstone had 2 extra textures that could be generated, creating cryptic patterns. This diamond with eyes peeking out and this set of 4 symbols, a creeper face, Steve, an eye, and a block or slab. What were the meanings behind this strange display? I'll dedicate my life to finding out. Nah, I'm bored. Check out this book I have. Oh wait, no. It's actually a leather cap! See, the new leather trims that came in with 1.20 lets you use armor trims to customize your look. This particular trim makes it look almost exactly like the books the librarians wear on their head. Speaking of leather armor, did you know that you can dye your armor multiple times to get slightly different shades? Use enough dye and you have access to all 16.7 17 million possible colors in Minecraft. Now I can't look at boring regular leather armor without seeing all the colors it could be. Sniffers are like big puppies. Seriously, they're actually based somewhat on corgis. Their dig animation has them splay out their legs, which dogs do, particularly corgis, when they're hard or need to lie down. Lying down like this is officially called a sploot. All the paintings in the game are pixel versions of real paintings, and some of them hide amazing details. I can never unsee this painting now without looking at the 6 brown pixels at the bottom. In the original version of the painting, they're actually a cute, fluffy little animal. Here's a little detail that's easy to miss. Want to create a lot of smoke? Campfires can make some, but it disappears before it can even get past the treetops. But if you put the campfire on top of a haystack, that smoke will rise 3 times higher. I'm a vivid camera enthusiast myself, but I feel like Minecraft never really met my photography needs until I found this build hack. As you can actually build a camera in Minecraft. Now I can finally reenact my favorite movie scenes. Wait, no, not that one! Every time my friends come to visit me in Minecraft, I can never find a space for them to sleep in. Thanks to this build hack though, I will always have a bed for my friends whenever they come over. By placing a bed and adding some signs and trapdoors to the side of it, you can make this authentic looking sofa bed or futon. Now all of my friends can come and hang out. Oh, wait, that's right. Villager lampposts are so boring! Let's change that. Thanks to these 4 incredibly unique designs, you can make your village feel a little bit more modern and decorated than it did before. Wait, no, your village is lovely, I promise. Banners aren't just good to show your colors. They can imitate metal in this crazy hack. With the right designs and placement, banners can look like sheet metal. Perfect for builds designed to look like big industrial machines. This huge building is watching! See, if you put this banner design behind the trapdoor, the sway animation on the banner will make it emerge outward, looking like it's opening and closing its eyes. This fancy chair has secret storage compartments filled with food, perfect for lazing around. The key is that the decorative layer is actually a traveler's llama. The llama itself has been turned invisible and has storage boxes attached to it. It's everything you need from a comfy chair. And if you're ever left with a ton of wet sponges for whatever reason, don't dry them in a furnace. Instead, take them to the nether where they'll dry out instantly in the heat. Then you can use an enchanted hoe to pick them up super fast and get straight back to sucking. God, why did I just say that? One thing that Minecraft is very bad for is storage solutions. The only real storage options are chests, barrels, and throwing stuff onto the floor and hoping you sort out your inventory quick enough so it does not despawn. However, these rule-breaking storage solutions can make your home look far better. If you place campfires into a cupboard of trapdoors, you can make this meat-drying cupboard. Certainly an interesting take on a kitchen accessory you didn't know you needed. I'm a bit bored of my bed. I think I want to get a bunk bed. And thanks to this building hack, I can create a bunk bed that finally lets me achieve my dream of having a bunk bed, but I have no one to share it with. Not every person wants to live in a house on land. Some people want to live on a boat, and this building hack lets you have all of your necessities on one small boat. Time to sail the 7 seas! See you later. Unfortunately, there is no good couch within Minecraft unless you use mods. However, you can actually create the illusion of there being pillows on your couch. If you break the blocks out from underneath the couch and put armor stands with dyed leather helmets, you can create these really cool pillows for your couch and really bring the house to life. They are not very comfy though. I love connecting my treehouse to other trees in Minecraft. However, I have never found a good way to make these authentic looking rope bridges. Until now! If you use acacia slabs and lightning rods, you can create this unique bridge design that even matches the area you are in. Just make sure you don't fall through the... Breaking blocks like clay underwater is so annoying! Sure, there's the old door trick, but that's no fun compared to TNT. But Mallow, TNT doesn't work underwater! Wrong! All you need to do is place sand or gravel on top before lighting it, and it works perfectly. It barely even damages you. You can actually do the opposite as well. Placing an anvil on top of TNT before lighting it will stop it from breaking any blocks at all. It doesn't even damage the anvil. And again, you take almost no damage from the blast. Let's be honest, the mob vote is not great nowadays. Sure, back in 2016 it seemed cool, but now just about everyone is upset that their favorite mob did not get added. And because of this, these are the mobs we will never get to see in Minecraft. Meerkats, ostriches, vultures, moo blooms, iceologers, glares, copper golems, rascals, tough golems. All of these would have been amazing additions to the game, but Mojang can only add one. Rest in peace, mob vote losers. Blazers have become a really easy mob to defeat since the addition of shields. Shields made blazers weak against your defenses. However, all the way back before mob votes even existed, we would meet Mob D. Yes, that is the only name it ever got. Mob D would have been very similar to a blaze, but with shields surrounding it to make it just a little bit more challenging than regular blazes. This would have not only made the game more challenging, but diversified the nether mob ecosystem a bit better than it currently is. Minecraft's newest update, the Trails and Tales update, is yet to come out as of the time of writing. However, they missed such a huge opportunity to add these next mobs into the game. Let's start with the Key Golem, a small passive mob that you could have protected throughout your trial in order to unlock the door at the end. Next up is the Redstone Monstrosity, a truly terrifying boss that could have given the trial chambers a unique boss to battle against. And finally, the Squall Golem, a mob that would have been challenging to defeat, but could have dropped some really useful items for your trial. If only Mojang added the Minecraft Dungeons mob to Minecraft, the game would be so much better. Pillagers are a team, and even the Ravagers share traits with them, as the first and third Ravager hurt sounds are actually the Pillager hurt sound, pitched to sound much lower. This secret TNT technique can save your life. If you place TNT on a slab, explosion damages much fewer blocks around it, making it much less scary to handle. You could even have TNT decorate your home, if you're brave. Fishing yanks fish out of the water at speed, but it's actually not an automatic animation. The fish are actually flying through the air, and if you step aside, they'll zip right past you. Use this secret to launch fish at your friends, slapping them in the face at high speed. Andesite, boring. Diorite, boring. Granite, boring. Stone. Why are all these so boring? Did you know there was initially meant to be another stone variant called Bluestone? Why this was rejected is largely unknown, but I imagine it would have looked kind of weird. Villagers cover the world in Minecraft, but there are some biomes where the villagers were just kind of forgotten. Jungle villages are confirmed to have at one point been a thing, but I bet you didn't know that initially there were plans to have a village in the mushroom biome. Well, this is one that certainly makes sense, but I would argue that this biome was interesting and rare enough that adding a village would make it next to impossible to find. If you feed a cookie to your parrot in Minecraft, they will die! No joke, I feel bad for the kid that figured that out. Well, this wasn't always in the game. Mojang later realized cookies are actually toxic to parrots, so changed the game to be more realistic. So if your friend gets a new parrot, you know what to bring! Woohoo! In Minecraft's April Fool's update, Mojang added an item called the Ankle Monitor, which when put on, works like the curse of binding, making you unable to take it off and slower whilst wearing it. Minecraft Hood Edition coming out in 2023. Numbers are easy to make in Minecraft. Even my grandma could do it, but I bet she couldn't make a number do this! Smart placement of blocks can make a shape change depending on where you stand. This one even changes whole words into something completely different. Eat it, Grandma! I'm better at Minecraft than you! I'm kidding, I'm sorry, Grandma, I didn't mean it, don't hurt me. I bet you've always wanted a huge house plant, no? Well, too bad! If you put a lectern as the base of your plant, and then build the greenery on top of that, then the stand of the lectern will have a thinner center. It breaks up the shape of the plant for a really fashionable addition to the home. I bet my neighbor isn't as cool as this, huh? Oh. Look at this cute little plushie! Just dig a hole 1 block deep, push 4 armor strands into that place in an X formation. Equip them with leather chest pieces, and then plant black wool on top. The wool will turn the leather black to match, and then you can put a banner in front to act as the face. Oh, so cute. I shall defend it with my life! Yeah! Everyone loves a white Christmas, and you can make one whenever you want by simulating snowfall just outside the window. This is done with a carpet duplicator just above the window, constantly breaking pieces, causing the particles to fall down. Inside the house, it looks just like a snowy day. Wait, but I'm in the desert! Did you know you can push the Ender Dragon through an end gate into the overworld? You need this big apparatus and a simple flying machine. There's a way to push the dragon into an end gate, which will spawn a dragon in the overworld. Watch the chaos for as long as you can before the server takes revenge with a ban. Trick everyone into getting trapped on the nether roof. It's easy, just break the portal in the nether and remake it on the roof. It's nearly impossible to get back down from there, especially when you break the portal once people have walked through. You won't be able to get off the roof either, but who cares? You're getting banned anyway. Fill the server with mobs that won't add to the mob cap. Endermen holding blocks, zombie villagers, vexers, shulkers, and all sorts of others don't have a limit. If you gather enough of them, it'll lag the server to a crawl. One of my favorite ways to set up one of these random clocks is to add a chicken underground somewhere in a small room with a pressure plate. The chicken will walk around slowly and activate whatever you want it to. I recommend a bell because, oh my god, they're loud. If you want to be even more annoying and going to sleep with monsters nearby, I think this phrase will still haunt us in 20 years. All you've got to do is bring over a mob, name tag it, and hide it underneath your friend's bed. A creeper is best for this because it's silent and it'll take forever for your friend to find it. And when they do... Ah! Who doesn't like buried treasure? But using a map can be really annoying. However, pros know how to find it without a map. First, head to a beach biome and lower your render distance to 5. Then hit Shift and F3, followed by the numbers next to Game Renderer, Levels, and Entities. If there's orange on the pie chart, there's a chest nearby. Then just turn around slowly until the orange is biggest and head towards it till it disappears. In the chunk behind you at 9-9 in the chunk, there should be a buried treasure. Or just use X-ray. Don't tell anyone I said that. Soul Sand water elevators require every single piece of water to be a source block. So to save tons of time, try just placing a piece of kelp at the bottom and bone mealing it. When you break the kelp, all of the water will instantly be turned to a source. Did you know there's a way to fly infinitely with an elytra without using a single rocket? After taking off, you can fly up and down at around a 45-degree angle. This will let you build up enough speed and distance to fly forever, or at least until your elytra runs out. You can even avoid using a rocket to take off by using a Riptide Trident, or an entity cramming setup like this that throws you high into the air without a single gunpowder. Spyglasses don't get anywhere near as much love as they should, and I think that's because of this annoying GUI that shows up when you use it. But if you hit F1, it'll completely remove it, giving you a clear zoom that's actually kind of powerful.
But Mallow, real pros just use Optifine.
Shut up, nerd! You've heard of going above bedrock, but what about below it? In an older version of Minecraft, you could phase through the bottom layer of bedrock by placing a boat on the thinnest part of the water. Okay, this was a horrible idea, Dad! I wish I could unsee the flower textures forever. Mojang decided to curse my eyes by using 2D sprites for all potted plants and not making them 3D. This almost feels as wrong as mining diamonds with a stone pickaxe.
Where the the diamonds?
Everybody knows that naming a mob Dinnerbone flips it upside down, but I bet you didn't know there's a second secret name that does the same thing. If you call the mob Grum with 2 M's instead, it'll do the same thing. This was added at the same time as Dinnerbone, so I kinda feel bad he didn't get as much attention. Poor Grum. If you're like me, you probably still manage to get lost even with a map. But if you name a banner and place it down at your base, you can right-click it with the map, and a marker will pop up showing you exactly where home is. Remember the last time you used a furnace minecarts? Yeah, me neither, but there is actually a way to use them that kinda makes them useful, I guess? If you push a furnace minecart into a chest minecart, they'll actually couple together, allowing you to transfer a huge bunch of resources easily without choker boxes. It all completely falls apart the second a corner or hill appears, but hey, they've got the spirit. Honey blocks are so sticky that mobs like villagers can't actually jump off them, meaning you can use them to hold them in place. Chickens are one of my favorite animals in Minecraft, but I sometimes wish they could do more than just that. That's why the diamond chicken was the best. I mean, they were bright blue, and instead of eggs, laid diamonds. Now that's more like it. Some mods even add these back, but with stone, iron, and gold chickens too, this is way better than mining. Although the gold does smell a bit funny. Oh, I think this might be poo. Most people think Alpha was the first version of Minecraft, but something called InDev was actually earlier than that. This super basic version of the game feels a bit like a fever dream, especially when you see one of these things skipping past you. This, apparently, is a human, though I'm not sure their heads are supposed to move like that. I don't think it's healthy. Truly, the stuff of nightmares. Well, if you think that's crazy, wait until you see the strangest mobs in Minecraft. That award goes to these Funko Pop-looking things. Seriously, what on earth am I looking at? Their names were Rana, Beast Boy, and Steve. And they didn't even have animations. They just glided motionless around the world like some creepy ghosts from the future. Rana looked straight out of a Pokemon game. She's pretty cool. Speedrunners even have ways to make nether portals instantly without diamonds. Find a lava pool like this, then place a block here with water next to it. Break that and place blocks exactly like this on the side of the pool. Place water right here and place lava in the formation of a portal around the side. Remove the water and you've got an instant nether portal with just a single bucket. There's also a way to do it in an underwater ravine, but I'll leave that one to the pros. It's not because I can't do it, okay? But the skeletons are one of the most annoying mobs to farm in Minecraft. They don't even spawn half the time. But if you're in single player, try lowering your render distance and simulation distance to 5 chunks. This will force all mobs to spawn where you can see them, letting you find farm skulls way easier. Once you're ready to fight the wither, whatever you do, don't spawn it above ground. Trust me, I learned the hard way. Instead, dig a 40-block long tunnel underground and spawn it in a chamber at the end. If you stay at a safe distance, you'll be able to take it down super super easily without getting hit once. Well, good players will. If your friend wants a nice oxidized copper roof, trick them by secretly waxing the copper blocks with honeycomb. They'll be waiting for days wondering why it's not turning that lovely shade of green. Check out this infinite lightning rod. If you can trap your friend in a room above one, see how long they can survive as lightning constantly strikes around them. Bring extra difficulty by dropping hostile mobs in with them. This deadly trick is devilishly simple. If your friend uses water to jump great distances, put a blue tinted block over the water. It totally blends in, and you can watch as your friend slams into it at full speed. This boat is actually a trick. When you get in, it explodes into as many boats as you want. To make it, just pour a ton of boats into a hopper that drops into a dispenser on repeat. It will place boat after boat after boat into the same spot on the water. Then you should break the machine apart and watch the chaos from afar as your friend tries to get in. A dirty trick to swipe their goods is to hide a hopper underneath their furnace. Their new smelted ingots fall right into your evil clutches. Keep those stolen goods out of sight by hiding them in chests. These actually have a limit on how far they can be before the game stops showing them. So if you put them all the way to the top of the sky above the clouds, your friend will never find what you took. Cobwebs aren't just good for making a cave or mineshaft feel extra creepy. They're also good for adding custom smoke to chimneys and for adding a net to a basketball hoop. Most people know you can make a really convincing dead tree with stripped logs and mangrove roots. So instead, try creating a dead warped tree with muddy mangrove roots, dead coral, and hanging roots. Oh yeah, muddy mangrove roots with a candle on top makes a pretty convincing rotten melon if you ever need that for some reason. Rooted dirt finally gave us another dirt block that's not just gonna turn into grass instantly, giving us way more decoration options. One of my favorite ways to use this is to mix rooted and coarse dirt in a pattern like this to make wheel tracks through a forest. Even though they're a type of fish, I think, guardians won't actually suffocate when they're outside of water. However, they do bounce around like crazy, which can cause them to take full damage and die on land. If you don't know that zombies burn in the sunlight, then you might have to head back to Minecraft kindergarten. But zombies do have other weaknesses too. They're actually terrible swimmers, so if they accidentally wander into some water, they'll just sink to the bottom, suffocate, and turn into a drowned. When a husk drowns though, it will actually turn into a zombie first, and then into a drowned. They also don't burn in daylight, which doesn't make much sense, but hey, these things exist. What do I know? Skeletons and strays also burn in the daylight like zombies, but they're deathly afraid of wolves. I guess skeletons are the best way to get bones. However, a little known fact is that both skeletons and zombies are weak to healing potions. Just 2 direct hits can insta-kill a skeleton in full diamond. Hoglins are massive, brutal creatures that are scared off by fungus? That's right, whenever these huge hogs go near a warped fungus, they'll immediately run the other way. The same goes for respawn anchors and nether portals. I guess they're scared of going through and turning into zoglins, which, by the way, are one of the only mobs in the entire game that doesn't have a weakness. They're immune to drowning and fire. Some items have only existed in a single update, including mad experiments like this special little chicken that actually lays diamonds instead of eggs. They don't taste good in an omelet though, and the chickens have a bad habit of exploding. One item you were never supposed to get is bedrock. But if you put end crystals around the end portal after killing a dragon, and then quickly explode them with a click before the dragon resummons, there's a slight chance a piece of that bedrock will fall through the portal and end up as a usable block at world spawn. Check out this nether portal, or Pether Nortal? This reverse nether portal requires this insane contraption of update suppressor rails that lets you destroy pieces of the frame without this area of the portal breaking. Use water to break the inner section and you can fill that with obsidian. Then break the rest of the frame and you get this mind-bending result. I hate Bedrock Edition! The only good thing that's ever come out of it is this super rare texture bug where villagers go to sleep like this. This is so unique that there are no other instances of this happening. I wonder though, maybe this guy's having too much of a good time. Cracked Magnet is literally the god of Minecraft seeds, and it's no wonder he managed to find this insane world. Not only is there a massive sinkhole, but there's a village place at the surface of the lake and at the bottom too. However, my favorite part is this cozy little underwater igloo. Who even lives here? Aquaman? If you're the proud owner of a few hundred horses like I am, you'll be shocked to know just how impossible it is to find horse armor in strongholds. These have an insanely low spawn rate at 2.5% in altar chests, and if that wasn't surprising enough, the chance you find all 3 variants is 0.001563%. What do I do with all these horses now? Well, there are 18.4 quintillion seeds in Minecraft. The math behind getting the same seed is gonna blow your mind. Thankfully, this user on Reddit did it for us, and figured out that you have to have a 1 in 340 decillion? Yeah, you know it's serious when the words are harder to say than the numbers. I'm embarrassed to tell you the sheer amount of time I've spent looking for buried treasure with maps. That was until I found out about this trick. Once you're in the chunk the treasure is located in, press F3 plus G, and look at these numbers, which are the sub-chunk coordinates. Make sure that the first and last digits are 9 and 9. After that, dig straight down, and you've got yourself the easiest loot of your life. Similarly, you can do the same thing with strongholds, which have tons of loot, but it's slightly more complicated. Use an Eye of Ender several times to see which chunk the location of the stronghold crosses in. This will indicate the general chunk it is located in. After that, you have to open the same menu and look at the sub-chunk coordinates. Only this time, the first and last digits need to be 4. Doing this helps you find strongholds almost instantly, which have a boatload of loot. The only downside is using the Eyes of Ender can get a bit expensive. Unfortunately, snowmen don't do damage to mobs with their attacks, but they will push them back and get their attention. If you spread a bunch of them out in tall towers around your base, they'll totally stop any mobs from attacking you and keep you safe. And if it's players you're worried about, try swapping a snowman out for a skeleton and adding fire around it to create a truly spicy surprise for any intruders. I think the most underrated item in 1.20 is the calibrated skulk sensor. When you place an amethyst block next to it, it'll relay any signal it gets to any other nearby sensors. Using this, you can create essentially infinite wireless redstone that's only activated by certain noises in certain places. So if I eat this piece of food here, the sensors will relay the signal along and teleport me using this Ender Pearl status machine. This will make your base literally impossible to find. But if you want to take it even further, try building this thing instead. It's got all of the blocks you need for a home, including a brewing stand and an anvil. And you're even safe from mobs in the bed too. I don't know if I'd call it a base though. It's more like being homeless. You can make a perfect little cage for parrots by pushing a piece of stained glass on top of them. For dogs, try a solid block instead. Sometimes the hardest part of building a hidden base is actually finding a location first. So try this sneaky idea out. Nobody ever goes into these scary water-filled lush caves, so try and take a swim down there yourself. Place a door and get to work. But come on, a regular door just isn't gonna cut it. So instead, try placing a pressure plate on the other side of a corner like this, connecting it to a piston and using an arrow to activate it. It works underwater too. Oh, also, there was another really strange and kind of cruel bug where sitting cats would just sink down in water instead of standing up and swimming to safety like they do now. I'd be totally okay with this if it was dogs, but not my sweet kitties. You know how the menu screen kind of rotates around like this? Apparently, this can make some people dizzy. So Mojang added this setting that lets you change the speed or even turn it off completely. I can't be the only person who thinks this looks really cursed. Hey, by the way, does anyone else think the new world creation screen looks awful? I've been playing Minecraft for 10 years now and they did not need to change this. Desert wells finally got a use as you can find a new block called Suspicious Sand in them. This block that can also be found in desert temples can be brushed with, you know, a brush to uncover secret items. Well, kind of. All the sand in the wells can really give you is sticks, bricks, and emeralds. So I think I'm just gonna stick to stealing villagers' crops and selling it all back to them at a profit. Luckily though, the desert temple sand does hide a little more treasure, as you can also get TNT, gunpowder, and even diamonds. And by the way, this room looks suspiciously like a treasure room. I wonder if in the future we might find some other goodies hidden away in here. What I do like about Suspicious Sand though is that the item inside will slowly peek out as you brush it. I still kind of prefer how it looked in Minecraft Live though, where instead of just breaking, it slowly wiped layers from the block, exposing the item inside. You know those little ghost guys called Vexes that spawn in raids that are somehow more dangerous than Ravagers? Well, thankfully they're being nerfed, as their hitbox has been made much bigger, meaning you can actually hit them when you try.
Everyone has that one friend that you start a Minecraft server with, but then they suddenly vanish for months at a time. Well, with this Minecraft prank, you can get them back for abandoning you. By placing a bunch of chickens above a hopper that goes into a dispenser, you can create an infinite chicken spawner. Eventually, the house will be so overcome with chickens, they will have no excuse but to log back on and deal with the problem. If I were to ask you what the buggiest mob in Minecraft is, you most likely would not be able to give me an answer. But after hours of studying, researching, and trying to figure out which mob is the laggiest, I believe I have found the answer. The buggiest mob in Minecraft is a sheep. Nah, I'm just kidding, it's a bee. At least I believe it is. Okay, that was bad. Sorry. Anyway, you can destroy a Minecraft server by simply gathering and breeding as many bees as possible. Eventually, the server will become so buggy it is basically unplayable, with the server after a while becoming so infested that the server begins crashing. This must be the most unbelievable bug ever. Okay, I'm done with the bee puns. I promise, I'm not weird.
One of the best creative features within Bedrock Edition is definitely the structure void. This is not a block that is only in Bedrock Edition, but the Java counterpart is pretty horrendous. In
In Bedrock Edition, the structure void will let you place items on top of it, such as rails and flowers. But the best part about this is that you can still walk through the structure void, meaning you can make amazing-looking roller coasters without all the hideous blocks for your rails to go on. Looking at the sun can be immensely dangerous. However, within the Java edition of Minecraft, looking at the sun does nothing to you. If you were to do this in the Bedrock edition instead, you would see this weird blindness effect appear on your screen, which is what happens when you actually look at the sun. Although I will not look for too long. Ah, my eyes! Everyone knows that you need a pickaxe to mine blocks like stone and obsidian, and this is also the case for all the blocks that can be crafted by using these blocks. Well, not exactly. Since the Bedrock edition, you can actually mine a furnace and an enchantment table without a pickaxe. You literally just need to punch it with your fist. Ow, my hand! I need a doctor. This version of Minecraft was haunted. The Elder Guardian ghost was added in Pocket Edition 1.11 and looks identical to the Elder Guardian, except for a semi-transparent tail. That said, their behavior wasn't scary in the slightest, since all it did was look at you and slowly sink to the seafloor. Ha! Sucker! Can't catch me! These secret hybrid biomes have never been used in Minecraft. The deep warm ocean biome is the deep ocean and warm ocean mixed together, getting the aspects of both, including getting ocean monuments. So you could enjoy warm water vegetation while getting absolutely wrecked by guardians. Remember the Farlands? You can't get to them now as they've been blocked off with end-of-world barriers, but back before Beta 1.8, you could go so far from spawn that the world fell apart. Numbers became impossible, and infinity became reality. You'd fall through the world as the fabric of reality tore itself apart. That sounds too scary for me. Good thing there's nothing scary in modern Minecraft. I can't see this as anything but a trap. It looks totally normal, but this bed is on scaffolding. You'd think that would work, but there's actually a bug that causes the game to think you don't have a bed at all. When you die, you'll end up at the original spawn. Squids are weird and don't behave like other mobs. They don't have a way to rotate. That means no dinner bone and no death animation where they turn on their back. Do they even have a back? Squid are weird. I'm staying clear of them. I can't see the way arrows stick into you. They don't actually work based on where you got hit. The game has already decided where the arrows will stick out of you. You can tell because when bees sting you and arrows hit you, they can end up in the exact same space. Candles are powerful, but only on cakes. In Java Edition, the cake will not get waterlogged, pushing the water away while the little candle burns bright and strong. I'll never stop fearing this horde of Vexes because they do not care about survival. They are all about the kill, as they go through damaging cacti and other dangerous blocks, desperately trying to get at you. Axolotls are adorable, but also really sneaky. They can play dead if they take damage underwater, slowly regenerating health over time. This is actually based on real-life axolotls who play dead if they feel threatened. Goats are a great addition to the game, but I just can't look at them anymore because of what I noticed about their legs. They're not attached! Look at the way they walk. Do you notice the top edge of their legs? There's a big gap between the leg and the body. Back in my day, whenever people built a cash register in Minecraft, all they used was a single stair. However, build hacks have truly grown throughout Minecraft's lifespan, and now we have cash registers that actually look real. By using a chest Minecraft and a stair, you can make a cash register that actually opens. It just is not very secure. Hey, bring them back, you thief! Mojang refuses to add crocodiles to Minecraft, and who can blame them? These terrifying reptiles will make the game quite a bit scarier. However, thanks to this next build hack, you can create a realistic-looking crocodile within your vanilla playthrough. By using dark prismarine and a banner, you can create this adorable yet terrifying creature from the sea. Just make sure you're always out of his reach. This soft hack lets you soundproof your surroundings. Wool can actually be used to block sounds from getting to a skulk sensor, which is great if you only wanted noticing people breaking into your house. Cobblestone generators can be a pain with the risk of making obsidian, but mangrove roots save you from that struggle in a crazy hack. Waterlogged mangrove roots count as a water source block, but it doesn't flow, so the water won't touch the lava, meaning obsidian won't get made, but you'll get cobblestone all day. Daylight sensors can be used in all sorts of genius hacks, including this grandfather clock that actually tells the time. This sensor can detect the gradual change in lights depending on the time of day and will send signal updates based on that. Connect that to a bell and you've got a countdown to nightfall. This honey block hack makes a great conveyor belt, as the blocks are pushed around with pistons in a circle. You can put armor stands or even loose items on that honey, and it will carry it around. It's been used for armor sets and even for a sushi bar. Have you ever wanted a house that your friends will never find? Well, thanks to the giant mushroom, you can hide your entire base within this small mushroom, and then everyone will just stroll on by and would never know you were there. The perfect hiding spot! And if you are lucky enough to find the mushroom island, it is
is completely mob-proof too. My garage in Minecraft is very, empty. However, thanks to this build hack, I can create a car within my garage. Unfortunately, it is a little bit expensive to do. Simply use slabs, a minecart, and some signs, and you can create the body of your car. The best block to finish off the wheels is definitely the wither skull. Sheesh, time to go gathering, I guess. This next build hack breaks the golden rule in Minecraft, using stairs for your roof. However, you should be using walls instead. It makes this really interesting and different style to your roof. Despite everyone using stairs for the past 10 years, I may consider giving this a go. Tired of having to line your garden in torches? Well, why don't you try this building hack which lets you have the same brightness as glowstone without having the ugly blocks be visible. Break a hole into the ground, place a piece of glowstone or another light block, and then cover it with moss. Obviously, this only works in plains biomes. Have you ever wanted to build a secret base inside of a snowy mountain? You should use powdered snow. If you place 2 powdered snow in front of the entrance to your mountainside base, and as long as you remember to wear your leather boots, you can go in fine, and everyone else will fall into the snow. Everyone knows about hiding a secret entrance behind a painting, but this house will tear apart your friendships, since you can create this huge lava ravine behind the painting. Make sure you make it obvious that there is something behind your painting, and voila! You have tricked your friend into one of the most embarrassing deaths ever. Although it doesn't look it, villagers can actually wear armor. They can even wear mob heads and pumpkins, but nobody wants to see that. You can use dispensers to equip it to them, and even put enchantments on each piece of armor, including Thorns enchantment. God, that's an embarrassing death message. Oh, and by the way, that mob head thing works on piglins too, and it's somehow even worse! Everyone knows how cowardly villagers are, especially around anything that even has a possibility of hurting them. But I bet you never noticed they actually sweat during raids. At least, I heard that sweat. They really don't have much to worry about though, because some of these villagers actually have morals? These scary ex-guys called Vindicators refuse to kill baby villagers, so at least when they grow up, they can rebuild the village. Never mind. We have polar bears in Minecraft, and we have pandas in Minecraft, so why do we not have variants of bears for forests? The obvious choice would be to add in bears like the grizzly bear or the black bear, but there are so many more options that could be added. Well, I do actually know the reason these weren't added. Since polar bears and pandas are incredibly hard to find, Mojang do not need to worry about people going up to these animals thinking they are safe. However, grizzlies and black bears are actually relatively easy to find in real life. But I'll be honest, Mojang is really overthinking this one. Imagine a mob in Minecraft that was larger than the Ender Dragon, Wither, and the Warden combined. Well, this is the whale, a huge behemoth of a mob that would have just added some diversity to the deep oceans. This would have been a really cool addition for the oceans, as it would have given them a bit more exploration, similar to games like Subnautica. However, I can understand Mojang not wanting to teach kids to hunt whales. Armadillos are a cool addition to Minecraft and all, but honestly, I wanted the penguin. The penguin would have been another mob that could have been found in ice-related biomes, which at the moment only have one mob, being the polar bear. I just think the penguin would have been a far better addition for diversifying the game, as opposed to the armadillo. Plus, dog armor is a stupid addition. You can't stop me! A fish out of water bounces and flops, but you can actually get them jumping way higher. On a slime block, they'll gain height, sometimes up to 17 blocks high. The world-famous creeper is the face of Minecraft, but they actually have a secret past. They weren't designed. They were an accident! Like my birth. The developers were trying to make pigs, but instead of making them long, they made them extra tall. This created the frightening creature we know today. Being in the ground at night is so much safer than being above ground. There are less places for enemies to spawn, and more places for you to hide. However, imagine a world where this was perhaps not the case. If this rejected idea had gotten into the game, caves could have been far more terrifying. Ghost miners are intended to be added into Minecraft to be an exclusively underground enemy for you to fight, able to slide through walls while slowly approaching you. I do not like ghosts. People often wonder why it took Mojang 5 years to add in a new overworld biome, and it is because of this rejected Minecraft idea. Originally, Mojang were working on a giant redwood forest biome. This most likely would have come out at some point around 2020, or perhaps even replaced a biome like the giant tree taiga. I certainly hope Minecraft brings this back one day. The most useful chest in Minecraft is certainly the ender chest, but sometimes it feels way too small, and as though there is never enough room for all of my valuable items. If this next rejected idea idea had been made, you would have said bye to all of your storage issues. Expandable ender chests were originally planned up around the same time as the End Islands update, as Mojang wanted players to be able to transfer important blocks from one location to another. However, Mojang decided that the best way to do this would be through shulkers as opposed to expanding an ender chest. The flower, Lily of the Valley, looks the exact same from any angle you look at it through. It's sort of like a Minecraft illusion, which means the lily is always watching you. Don't kill that baby pig. You know it doesn't give you meat. Don't kill it! Here's a nice trick to try on a blind person. If you cover lava with string, nearby players won't be able to hear the lava, meaning that sucker won't even know what hit him. Oh, I'm such a great YouTuber. Subscribe, by the way. Yes, this is a call to action. The lily is watching you! To cure a zombie villager, you need a splash potion of weakness and a golden apple. And a bed? Apparently being near to a bed helps to speed up the process. Not sure why that works. But I can think of a few reasons. The flat ground is coming to get me! Look down from above and move away from it, and you'll see the hypnotic way these boxes of black and white create a weird and warped illusion. The flat ground tricks your brain that it's rising up as a hill. It tricks you into anything, and next thing you know, you're attacking your friend's pet dogs. Oh god, what have I done? Just kidding. I enjoyed that. What could be more impossible than true circles in Minecraft? Thin black and white lines on the outside and thicker ones closer to the center causes a strange visual confusion. From above, the patterned floor makes you think you're actually looking at a perfect circle in the center. The circle breaks the very rules of Minecraft's whole reality. Don't tell Mojang. I don't want to be banned. Ever wanted to play Minecraft in Minecraft? That takes too much redstone, but this hack looks great. Make a desk with a pressure plate on top, with a painting behind it, blocking off the sides so it stays small, and put a button on the side to look like a mouse. Put a chair in front and you'll look like you're actually gaming. Hey wait, they're cheating! Bunch of hackers! This sucks! Ah! Don't trust these iron golems. One wrong move and they'll slap you silly. Instead, make one that will never turn on you, using anvils, a cauldron, a dispenser for a face, some stone fencing, and wood fencing for a wicked axe. Those iron golems wish they could have a sick axe. Those ugly beasts. Wait, I was kidding! How about throwing a pizza party? Picture frames holding campfires look like pizza slices. The actual pizza box is 2 trapdoors, one over a 2-block pit with 3 layers of snow. Put an armor stand on that with a pumpkin head and drop it through the trapdoor, and the top of the pumpkin will peek out. Add a bunch of different angles and you've got a kind of round pizza. Now you can distract the golems with pizza and they won't attack anyone. You can make a real working chair that looks totally seamless. Put a minecart built above a chest in the ground. Break the block above to let the cart drop out of the chest. Next, add a wooden slab and push it into the cart with a piston. Then build the rest of the chair around it. Wait, someone messed with this chair. Are those rails? Ah! Everyone knows playing chess makes you look super smart. So, make a chess set by pushing 4 armor stands into the same pit, putting chainmail helmets on them, and pushing a smooth quartz slab in from above. Black and white candles look like chess pieces to complete the set. Who wants a game? I'm super good. I even know that these guys are called horsies. Wait, is that Magnus Carlsen? Ah! Mojang has given themselves the power to ban people and hate when you have items with dangerous names. If they're rude, illegal, or named after real-world guns, Mojang will ban you completely. You're in someone else's server, so why not advertise your own server and entice people to join it? It'll make the server owner so mad as you endlessly pull people away from their precious world. Get this invisible block. No, it's not a barrier block, but actually block 36, a glitched piston that was duplicated using an end crystal and this machine. Put an item frame on it and it goes invisible. Since it's a glitch block, when you stack sand on them, the sand stays there, but still acts like it's falling, so people can fall through it. A perfect invisible trap. If somebody has a carpet in their house, they've left themselves open to one of the easiest and most annoying pranks in the game. All it takes is for you to tear up their carpet and place a bunch of water below, and then fill it up with pufferfish. As soon as they walk home and expect to lay down on their comfy, cozy carpet, they'll get a spiky surprise. Don't you think it's weird that all dogs look exactly the same in Minecraft? You can use this to really mess with people. All you've got to do is push someone's dog somewhere hidden and replace it with your own. When your friend comes to grab their dog for walkies, they'll spend ages trying to figure out why they can't make it sit up. Just make absolutely sure that you don't hurt their dog in the process at all. Oh god, I can't help myself! Did you know you can add the curse of binding to a carved pumpkin? And that you can equip carved pumpkins with dispensers? I think you get the idea. You can place a dispenser pretty much anywhere, like under somebody's door, and before they know it, yeah, where's the nearest cliff? Piglin bartering is super overpowered, but it's so slow. Luckily, Bedrock Edition pros found a way to speed it up by 100 times. All you need to do is grab a sticky piston and a gold block, and took it up to a super fast clock. Then when you drop the gold, the piglin will pick a piece piece of gold up every time the block moves, giving you supercharged trading. Swimming with Dolphin's Grace is even faster than using a boat. The only drawback is that it's quite difficult to breathe down here. However, there is a secret solution that lets you literally breathe underwater. If you punch a mob while swimming, you'll stand up for a split second. When you head to the surface, you'll be able to breathe like you're scuba diving. I can't tell you the amount of times I've missed out on a shipwreck because of not being able to see through the damn ocean. However, this is easily fixable with a little bit of help. Back in 1.19, if you set your camera at just the right angle on the water surface, you could see through the entire ocean and find anything on the seabed. But Mallow, isn't this technically X-ray? What else did you expect, nerd? You will never believe where the sound design for gas came from. Everyone's favorite Minecraft songmaker, C418, had a cat that often made disturbed noises while it slept. But during the development phase, he thought that these noises would be the perfect tracks to use for the gas. No wonder they seem so disturbing. For years, Mojang has been fixing thousands of bugs, but there is one that is detrimental to the entire game. What is it, you might ask? Cookies don't have sugar in their crafting recipe! I would actually be better off eating cement-laced with TNT gunpowder than cookies without sugar. Is that even a cookie at that point? For this one, I want you to look at the sun very closely. Hey, no, not in real life! Not just some crazy ideas back in the day. From a red dragon to a sky dimension, there was one change that was so weird, no one could have guessed why it was even implemented. I'm talking about Notch's decision to make the sun round. In fact, he did exactly that for one beta pre-release. Weird decision for a game based on literal cubes. And if you've spent ages pushing villagers around or using boats to move them, I'm about to blow your mind. You can't bait villagers around with seeds or carrots, but you can get them to follow you simply by having a chat with them. It seems they're so excited to trade with you that they just won't leave you alone, letting you bring them pretty much wherever you want. And if anything was to, happen to your villagers, don't use potions of weakness to heal them. Instead, you should use tipped arrows with a crossbow. If you have a high enough piercing level, you can shoot through multiple villagers, and then pick the arrow up after allowing you to cure hundreds of villagers with just one arrow. Swift Sneak is already an amazing enchantment, but did you know that if you run and jump into your sneak instead of just sneaking normally, you'll sneak around 33% faster? I really like saying sneak, could you tell? Speaking of sneaking, I just really wanted to say that, you can create secret ladders out of powder snow that only you can use. It's literally as simple as placing a column of powder snow somewhere and chucking on some leather boots, and only you will be able to climb it. And starting with a melon golem? Yeah, that's right. A brother to the snowman, this weirdly creepy guy could only be found in Minecraft Earth. He uses melon seeds to fight off enemies instead of snowballs, which only do half a heart of damage, but hey, that's better than what these silly snowmen can do. They can't even do basic math. Yeah, I can! What's 5 times 5? 3! Wrong. But even crazier is the Love Golem. Oh, isn't he cute? The brother to the Iron Golem, these guys spawn in villages just like their steel-clad brothers, but we're all about peace and love, man. They were totally passive, even to zombies attacking their villager friends. I wonder why that could have been. The Love Golem was added in the Love and Hugs update, where Mojang blessed us with even more wholesome new mobs. Check out the Pink Wither. Have you ever seen anything goofier? Oh, you have? Oh, my bad. Instead of the dark and deadly damage the normal wither would deal to your world, this guy spreads grass and flowers everywhere, just like bone meal. And what about the Smiling Creeper? There's not much to talk about here. But at least they're happy. Wait, don't hurt me! Don't hurt me! Oh, puppies. Cute. And since the addition of Deep Slate and all the new caves, strip mining has pretty much become a thing of the past. But it can still be pretty hard to find caves. Thankfully, there's a few ways to make it way easier. Firstly, this number on the F3 screen shows you exactly how many air blocks are ahead of you, meaning the higher this number is, the more likely it is there's a cave in that direction. And to make it easier to find exactly where it is, try turning on subtitles. Not only will it make it easier to see which sounds are being played, but it'll even give you arrows pointing in the direction they're coming from. Raiding in cities can get pretty dangerous very quickly if you find yourself floating high above the ground, and that's why the best players know to always carry chorus fruit. If you find yourself in this perilous position, eating one will instantly teleport you down to the ground safely. Just make sure you still got the levitation effects. It doesn't go well otherwise. Sometimes a regular fuse of a TNT just isn't long enough to get you to safety. So if that's the case, try crouching and setting the block on fire instead. Instead of instantly lighting, it'll burn for a bit before lighting. Trust me, this isn't a troll. Trust me. I'll never do anything like that. String tripwire can block bamboo and sugarcane from growing, and is invisible. Use it in this wicked trick. Put it on your friends' farms and see how long it takes them to notice that bamboo just isn't growing at all. An even better trick to play on AFK friends is to build a whole portal around them. them. It'll send them to the nether. And once you break the portals on either side, they'll be crying out, wondering how they even got here. Did your friend live near a village? Play a fun little trick by putting name tags on all the villagers. Name them with taunts and jokes about your friend, and watch them wonder why all the villagers are so mean. Want to trick your friend who just got a brand new set of netherite tools? Enchanted stone tools look a lot like the netherite set, so why not get some efficiency 1 stone equipment and swap them over? They won't need the netherite ones, right? Here's a trick to play on AFK players. Why not build a maze around them? In fact, why not make the walls out of falling lava for some extra spice? The same goes for floors, both inside and out. Spending a couple minutes making a block palette can add tons of detail, like adding beehives in with oak planks, brown mushrooms in with mud, and moss in with grass outside. There's tons of ways to make supersized versions of different foods in Minecraft. Obviously, you can use a sea pickle for a melon or pumpkin stem, but you can also put a mangrove propagule on top of a mangrove log for a bulbous beetroot, a warped vine on some honeycomb for a peculiar pineapple, and a sea pickle on a nether wart block for a tomato. For extra farm decoration, you can add barrels full of berries by placing coral blocks above water surrounded by trapdoors. This works with raw iron to make potato barrels, and you can even try making a larger version with crimson planks below as a grape stomping barrel outside a vineyard. Looms are one of the weirdest looking blocks in the game, but you can actually use them to make empty bookshelves, escalators, air conditioning units outside buildings, and cool looking roofs for your house. And if it's a detailed bookshelf you're going for, 1.20 added this secret way to put a 3D book model on a shelf. Just add an armor stand under the block you want like this, and place a leather helmet with a white coast armor trim applied. Push a block down from above and it'll look exactly like a spare book left out on the table. Somehow bees are even cuter, which is why no mobs in the game try to attack it. However, if they try and pollinate wither roses, they'll take damage just the same as mobs that walk over it. They'll also die after stinging anything that attacks the hive. All types of fish will start to drown after just 15 seconds on land. Weirdly though, they don't even try to get back into water. They just kind of flop around and wait for it to be over. Dolphins, however, can last over 2 minutes on land, and if it's raining, they can survive forever. However, dolphins do need air to survive, so if they're underwater for too long, they'll actually start to drown. At least they try to find water. Squids literally just sit there and move like that. Endermites used to have a huge weakness that nobody knows about. Before 1.15, if they stood on soul sand, they'd suffocate and die. This was eventually fixed, so now their only predator is Enderman. Snow golems aren't exactly the strongest defense your base can have. Their attacks don't even do damage, and they're made even worse by the fact that they can't even survive in warm climates like deserts or in the rain. They also only have 2 hearts of health. I'll stick to iron golems if I were you. This is so rare it only exists in one update, and you can take it with you outside the game. In the 20W14 Infinite Snapshot, there is a secret folder in the game files called Nothing to See Here, Move Along. Inside are 2 sounds, banana.ogg and banana.ogg. There are 2 versions of this sound, which is a tribute to the Sega logo. Have you ever found a music disc in a chest? Do you want to find them all? They're actually a very rare item. Most can be dropped by a creeper that was killed by a skeleton, but 3 of them can only be found in ancient cities, dungeons, or mansions, and 1 of them can be made by gathering 9 disc fragments. Get the whole collection and play that music loud! Speaking of ancient cities filled with rare loot, Minecraft 1.20 added these new buildings in the deep dark biome way underground. They're filled with new threats and new treasures, like the Silence Armor Trim. This armor trim only appears in chests, and only 1.2% of the time. Hope you get lucky. Quick, where'd you get slime balls from? If you said slimes, that's boring! The real answer is pandas. Or more specifically, baby pandas have a 1 in 6,000 chance of sneezing every tick which randomly drops a slime ball. But Mojang decided to pay attention to the weirdest details, since sick baby pandas actually have a larger 1 in 500 chance of sneezing up a slime ball. Look at this absolutely incredible lava ravine.
Mallow, why is it this ending?
Well, hold on and let me explain. This seed you see is caused by some weird world regeneration bug in Bedrock Edition. What's crazier is that it's not only the lava. Everything in this world repeats from lakes, oceans, grass, trees, and even blocks. This seed is so rare that there are only 2 of these in existence. When a warden starts chasing you, good luck surviving that. So, what do you do in a situation like this? Well, you're gonna have to make sure your armor is enchanted with Swift Sneak 2 or higher, which will allow you to get away. However, you still need to be careful of the warden's ranged attack because that thing is no joke. And if you have the time, pull down your render distance down to 2 chunks. The moment you stop hearing his footsteps means that he's far enough and will most likely calm down. I'm finally safe! Contrary to popular belief, growing crops isn't as simple as just smacking down a few seeds into the ground. There's actually a technique that goes into how you plant them. From your water source, move move out 4 blocks diagonally. And then from this one, continue tiling until you're almost 2 blocks ahead of your water source. Then start tiling in the opposite direction until you have an almost checkerboard pattern like this. Now, I know this looks insanely cursed, but it's the most efficient way to farm. And since these need at least a night level of 9 to grow properly, don't forget to throw on a few torches. Don't mind me and my infinite supply of melons. You should always have a hoe that is enchanted with Fortune 3 when farming, which will allow you to quite literally triple the rate at which you can get food. For example, you can get up to 9 melon slices for each melon block farmed. This enchantment is so broken. Minecart rails also have the same effect, and you can make cool patterns out of them. But they have a second effect I think is even more interesting. For some reason, mobs see rails as completely impassable objects and won't ever walk over them. So if you surround your base with a railway, it'll be completely safe from the horrors of the outside world, and you get a fun little roller coaster too. Even though zombies can knock down doors with these, for some reason they're completely stopped by trapdoors. And given we can easily hop on all fours and crawl beneath, this simple setup works perfectly as a door that zombies have absolutely no hope of breaking down. Eating a chorus fruit will teleport you to a random nearby block, even if that block is maybe on the other side of a wall. So if you head underground and build a tunnel like this, making sure to place carpets on the ground, you can build a base on the other side of the wall that can be instantly entered by simply eating a chorus fruit. However, I think the best possible secret entrance is one that I've never seen anybody use. Simply dying can teleport you tens of thousands of blocks away depending on where you set your spawn. So you can make an underground obsidian bunker far away from anything else, store your items in an ender chest, and instantly teleport there. Then you can build a machine like this to obstruct your spawn point for 60 seconds and instantly respawn at 0-0 again. Using maps and item frames, you can build huge 2D replicas of fake blocks and create super detailed hidden entrances you can use to hide almost anything. Check out this desert. See anything wrong? There's actually 2 hidden bases here, one inside this cactus and one behind this sand block. All you need to do is place the maps inside an item frame placed on a sign, and your base is suddenly invisible. You can actually make a base in the void. Sure, you can't place blocks down here, even in creative mode, but there's an illegal workaround. Using a chicken, leads, and boats. You can spawn shulkers down here and walk on them as if they're normal blocks. They'll even use levitation to send you back up. Look, all of us have wanted to live inside a video game at one point, and with some glass, terracotta, and buttons, you can. Imagine seeing this while playing on your Nintendo Switch. Hang on, I think I'm trapped! Let me out! Let me out! Huh? Oh god, that's even worse! Oh, and their texture also got an update. They now look eerily similar to the alley. I wonder if there's supposed to be some evil version of them. That'll explain why allays can be found in those cages at pillager outposts. Aside from the cherry wood that's being added, we're also getting a second set of wooden blocks made out of bamboo. 9 bamboo items make a bamboo block, which can be turned into everything you'd expect, but with a light green, jungly sort of feel. There's even a special bamboo mosaic block that can be made from 2 slabs, but I've got no clue how you'd use this in a build, so let me know if you figure that out. We also got a new decorative item called the Decorated Pot. Again, this doesn't exactly do much, but it actually looks pretty cool. You can craft it with 4 bricks in a diamond shape, but if you replace any of these with one of 4 types of pottery shard also obtained from brushing suspicious sand, one side of the block will have a picture carved into it like this. This block is super fragile though, and will break into pieces if you hit it with any tool. Sure, you can use these as a decorative item, but it also has its place as a building block, as they're just a little smaller than a regular block, allowing you to make some pretty cool patterns and pillars with them. However, I think my favorite new block has to be the chiseled bookshelf. You craft these with wood and slabs, and surprise, surprise, you can use them to store books, including enchanted books and written books, meaning you can leave hidden messages around your house, or just hide away your valuable mending books because you just know someone's gonna try and steal them sooner or later. Redstone machines can be incredibly laggy. The types of builds that come to mind are builds like redstone update suppressors or even large automated farms. However, one of the laggiest redstone builds only requires 2 types of redstone, a piece of redstone and a redstone repeater. By building this incredibly simple design, you can begin to lag any server. And due to how simple this is to build, you can scale this infinitely. To crash just about any server, just make sure you build it quickly, as otherwise you may well be banned. Who doesn't love a good little dance party in Minecraft? You turn on your favorite music disc, pig step, anything else is wrong. And then you and your buddies start crouching at each other, shaking what your mother gave you. Well, sometimes you want the dance party to be so big that it can crash a server, and thanks to this redstone machine, you can invite countless armor stands to your dance party. By building this incredible simple design using observers, pistons, and armor stands, you can turn your dance party into a bounce house dance party. And if you continue to add more armor stands, observers, and pistons, you can create one of the biggest lag machines in Minecraft. Sometimes you just want to watch the world burn, and the best way to do that is by messing with the villagers. You wait for them to go to sleep, and then you
start to mess with their village and them. However, did you know that these villagers are tougher than they may look? Since in Bedrock Edition, dropping an anvil on a villager's head while they sleep will do no damage. So you should really think twice before you try to troll these land-dwelling Squidwards. Books are immensely useful in both versions of the game. You can leave funny notes for your friends, blackmail villagers, and sometimes even completely destroy a server. Books have truly infinite possibilities. However, Bedrock Edition doubles the usefulness of these books, since whenever you open up a book in Bedrock Edition, it will have 2 pages! Tridents are one of the most fun weapons within Minecraft. Not only being able to launch you into the sky, but also being able to summon lightning strikes against your enemies. But why can they not be fired out of dispensers? Well, actually they can, just not in Java. Since in the Bedrock Edition of Minecraft, you can fire these weapons out of dispensers at light speed. Take that, zombies! Did you know that Bedrock is actually a harder game? Well, sort of, since in Bedrock Edition, your chance of finding various structures, items, and generations are considerably lower than in Java. For example, jungle pyramids in Java have a 42% chance of spawning in a jungle. However, in Bedrock, that chance is only 21%. This feels a bit unfair. Behold the infinite obsidian walls at the center of the world! In the very first version of InfDef Minecraft, there were 2 infinite walls of obsidian that intersected at 0, 0, the center of the world. This was because coordinates hadn't been implemented yet. I mean, how else do you show the center of the world without 2 massive walls that go on forever? That's how I remember important places. You should see my house. It's very expensive. What happened to roses in Minecraft? Well, they got replaced by poppies that you can actually make things with. The same thing happened to cyan flowers, which are now extinct. But hey, who doesn't love a bouquet of poppies for Valentine's Day? Nobody? No wonder I don't have a girlfriend. This item is called the Heart of the Sea, but this is actually a lie! Because when you craft it as a conduit and fully wrap it in 42 blocks of prismarine to activate it, the heart will open. It's actually an eye! Mojang have lied to us! I can't look at people's farms anymore. All I think about is how slow they're growing. That's because people don't know how you're supposed to alternate your veggies in rows. 1 row of carrots, 1 of potatoes, and another of whatever else you're growing. For some reason, the plants grow way faster as a result. Redstone activation can be slow over long distances. But did you know that wall connectors count as a redstone connecting block no matter how tall it is? That means you can instantly activate redstone with a contraption like this. I'll never look at chorus fruit the same way again. They can teleport you to crazy places, including into danger, but they can actually save your life. If you're falling into the void, just eat 1 and it will teleport you to the nearest surface without any fall damage. I have seen the invisible. Everyone knows that Minecraft is made of blocks, and those blocks are generated in chunks. But what if you could actually see those chunks and where the lines are? You can if you press F3 and G and see where those chunks begin and end. The full moon used to be a source of comfort. It looked so pretty. But now all I see is invisible spiders hiding around every corner. It turns out that at a full moon, all sorts of crazy things happen, including a higher chance of invisible spiders spawning outside my house. Have you ever wanted to build a lovely little carnival in your world, but every time you try and build a balloon, it comes out looking weird? Well then, you need this build hack. By using a piece of wool, you can do this. Place 1 wool on top of a fence, and then attach a lead to said fence post. If you then go underground and trap some piggies covered by a block, you can build bunches of balloons connected to the ground. Just make sure you turn off animal noises, as it can get pretty loud. Sometimes you want a ladder that you are not always accidentally climbing every time you walk past it. Well, look no further than this build hack, since you can actually create a working ladder just by using trapdoors. Simply place the trapdoors on top of each other, and then you just stand in the right spots and then jump and right-click. And then when you are not using it, the ladder is nice and tucked away. Automatic tree farms are really expensive to build in survival, and some people just do not have the will to go out of their way to find all of the materials. Luckily, there is actually an incredibly cheap alternative to this that just requires some manual mining. The semi-automatic tree farm will pick up any items that you do not pick up, and as the tree deteriorates, it will also pick up those items, meaning your precious apples do not go to waste. Glow Lichen is used for all sorts of creative hacks, such as this carpet balcony that looks great and glows to light up a restaurant while keeping deadly mobs from spawning. This icy hack lets you build an ice rink super fast in the desert. Most people see frost walker boots as mostly pointless because you need to be moving and the ice melts really quickly. However, if you build an ice lake underground, the sun can't get to it, and you can create a winter wonderland under the Sahara. This speedy hack lets you mine out a large area of stone incredibly quickly so you can focus on making your underground base. All you have to do is put down some moss, use bone meal, and the moss replaces all the stone around it while leaving the precious metals like diamonds and iron. If you dig it out with a stone hoe, it goes almost immediately. God
Gardens in Minecraft are kind of boring. You could have an amazing house but have a bad garden and it brings down the entire aesthetic of the house. So how can you have brilliant lighting in your garden without placing torches everywhere? Instead, use glow lichen, a perfect block for lighting up your pathways whenever you do not want to line your pathways in torches or lanterns. And it's hidden from your sights unless you really look for it. Creating a lawn in Minecraft is normally done by just using grass blocks. However, if you want to bring some texture and color to your lawn, use this technique. By using moss blocks and grass blocks, you will create this golf course looking grass aesthetic. It certainly makes my lawn look a lot cleaner. The only plant in Minecraft that grows on a wall is a cocoa bean. However, in a lot of house gardens, this can look a bit wrong. What you should be doing instead is mixing in redstone ore with the wall and then covering it up with vines. This creates this incredibly unique hanging roses design that certainly no one at Mojang ever planned. Unfortunately, mirrors cannot be added into Minecraft. This is largely due to how Minecraft runs, and mirrors can really affect that. However, some players have taken it upon themselves to create a slightly different illusion to create mirrors and reflective surfaces, rebuilding the entire room as a reflection. This works really well for any reflective floors and breaks the rules that there are no mirrors in the game. There are some mods that add things like cookers and microwaves into the game, but did you know you can actually do this in vanilla Minecraft? Well, if you use iron trap doors and surround the block with a painting on it, you can create this amazing looking microwave. As for the cooker, just put an iron trap door on top of a furnace and it looks like a stove. Animal farms in Minecraft are boring. You always have a fence surrounding some animals on a grass block plot. However, this tiny little detail will help bring your animal pens to life. If you have a chicken pen, scatter some little hay beds around on an item frame and then place an egg within the item frame. And all of this just uses a horn coral fan. But make sure you waterlog the block it is on, otherwise it begins to look a little bit dead. Minecraft houses rarely come with bathrooms. This is both due to your player never using the bathroom and also how hard they are to create. However, this exceptional design lets you create a shower that actually looks like a shower. So no longer conform to your gamer tendencies. Build this shower today! Fish are some of the most underappreciated mobs in Minecraft. However, you can build these fish a rule-breaking home using just one block. Scaffolding can be waterlogged and then you can place your adorable little fishy friends into this fish tank. Just make sure you do not break the scaffolding. Mobs keep breaking into my bases and I am tired of it! So I found this amazing house hack that will stop any mobs from entering my house. Whenever a zombie chases me into my house, I turn around, open up this trapdoor, and watch them fall to their death. We're all pretty aware of Minecraft's food chain now. Creepers hate ocelots, foxes hate chickens and rabbits, Mallow hates dogs, but one toxic relationship you probably don't know about is that polar bears hate foxes. It doesn't usually go too well for the polar bears though, as foxes are way faster. And because foxes can step on powder snow just fine, the bears are sometimes baited in and get stuck. Did you know that you can tame and ride a mob in nearly every biome? Horses can be used in just about any overworld biome. The strider is the same within the nether, and I suppose you can use a pig in either, if you're not in a hurry. But there is only one overworld biome that you cannot tame and ride a mob in yet, and that is of course the ocean, and this is for a very specific reason. Once upon a time, Mojang wanted to make dolphins tameable and rideable, and this was also going to be used to make underwater drowned jockeys where you would have saved the dolphin from its fate. However, this idea clearly was not enough for Mojang, as it was scrapped. One of the most terrifying animals from the deep blue is of course sharks, and people have been begging for sharks in Minecraft for years. However, their absence has been explained a lot by Mojang. Since Mojang do not want sharks to be entirely hostile, they would be passive until attacked, meaning that to get attacked by a shark, you would have to go looking for one. Mojang was reluctant to teach its player base to go looking for sharks in real life, and in order to maintain their age ratings across the world, they would not add in shark hunting to the game. Mojang has said they would never add this mob. However, once upon a time, they said the horse would not be added. So one day maybe. The Elder Guardian is a little bit underwhelming, and that is why this next mob has been requested a lot by the fans. To give some context, when the Elder Guardian was added, people were surprised at how easy the boss actually was. People were hoping that it would be a boss akin to the Wither or Ender Dragon, and that is why the ocean needs a new boss. The ideal candidate for this is of course the Kraken, a deep-sea squid that would attack players with its giant tentacles. And your spoils of war would of course be some delicious calamari.
Yummy.
Don't be so hasty with enchantments. Some have hidden properties like quick charge. At level 6 and above, crossbows with this enchantment stops the reload animation at the first frame, which is before the crossbow is loaded, and so won't load at all. Here's a trick that will freak your friends out. Carpet can actually be placed on any non-air block, even lava. It's tricky and dangerous, but you can walk on lava like it's nothing. It's easiest with moss carpet, as that doesn't burn. Time to hit the town for a shopping spree. Let's see, a fletching villager. Well, that makes sense. A librarian studying books. That also makes sense. A cleric selling an engineering component. Wait, what? Surely there must have been a redstone villager. Well, actually, it turns out, yes, there was meant to be a redstone villager. A villager who would only sell and accept redstone components and torches. The problem was the rest of his trades. It was very difficult to find a balanced way to get emeralds and trade them back to him without being insanely expensive or way too easy to obtain. Decorating in Minecraft is really difficult and frustrating. Imagine a world where your furniture could look like actual furniture. Now this is better. This was actually Mojang's original plan. However, at the time, it was a lot more difficult to implement this, and Mojang had so many bugs to fix across their versions, so they just abandoned the idea, leaving it to amazing modders to make this. Time to kick back and watch some Mallow YouTube videos, where you should subscribe. The Nether is a pretty uneasy place, and none are quite as uneasy as the Soul Stand Valley, with massive expanses of sand containing trapped souls. But one day they decided to add in these massive bone structures to resemble a long-dead species. Now, what if I told you that this species was originally going to have lived in the overworld? That is right, as there was originally going to be large skeletal remains found deep underground, but unfortunately they had some issues with spawning and were rejected, and instead used as a structure for the Soul Sand Valleys. If you've ever tried building a railroad before, you would have definitely come across a train turn that looks something like this. Well, if you take a look at the corner of the train track, it actually looks very similar to an iron pickaxe. Bet you didn't know that! When a player crafts their first enchantment table and enchants their first weapon, assuming you pick the lowest enchant level on a bow and arrow, the first enchant will always be power 1.
What a useless fact! I don't want power 1! Ass 1.
You can actually send minecarts to the Nether. All you have to do is set up train tracks leading directly to a Nether portal. Load those babies up! When they disappear, you can go through the portal and find all the glorious minecarts you sent over. Try escaping these impossible endless stairs! I've been running for 4 hours and I'm still going up! This illegal illusion was first made by MC Escher, and the trick is perspective. The stairs aren't connected at all, so don't try walking these stairs or you'll fall right off! Look at this little baby temple for little baby treasures. It's made of all the same materials taken from a desert temple, and buttons are used for the details and patterns that are normally made with whole blocks. Let's climb inside and get those treasures! Oh wait, a little baby TNT. Oh god, I'm gonna die! This hack uses dark and light wood signs surrounded in wood frame to make a pool table. Put green carpet over the signs and only the top can be seen, looking like pool cues. Now, if only I had friends to play with. Swing got a real swing that actually swings! This uses a secret minecart underground with powered rails angled up on either end of the swing distance. The minecart has a boat in it with a bunny and a strider, both with leads attached to the posts built around the swing. Put a saddle on the strider and then turn it invisible as you ride it. The saddle looks like it's actually swinging by the leads. I hope I haven't made this too fast! Ah! This automatic fireplace magically knows when you're around. Skulk sensors in the floor activate dispensers with flint and steel in them. They light netherrack blocks that burn and light the room. Then when you leave, another sensor activates the dispenser with water inside, putting out the fire as you leave the room. Wait, why did it turn on? Is there a ghost in here? Play on the side of the hostile mobs. You can throw armor at mobs and they'll wear it. Steal armor from the other players and keep giving it to the enemies to make them an unstoppable force. It is illegal to sell or buy accounts to other players, so why not tell everyone you're doing just that as much as possible until someone runs off to tell Mojang what an evil person you are. Duping items is an incredibly difficult thing to do on a server because all the item information is kept on a server's computer, but some places have exploitable weaknesses. A server that has its own spawn and teleport system can be tricked into dropping your items at the same time that you spawn, so the items are dropped, but also kept on your hotbar at the same time. It's an immediate bannable offense. Another great way to blow someone sky high is with TNT minecarts. Sure, there's all these ways to create nukes with them, but let's face it, you're gonna have to end up cleaning that up. So instead, if someone has a railway down to their mines, just add a couple TNT minecarts at the end. When they run into them and blow up, if anything, you're just helping them mine. Since they were added in the 1.13 update, bubble columns have been the absolute best elevator solution we've had. And conveniently, there's tons of ways to trap them and make your friends' lives just a little bit worse. The easiest is to surround the top in obsidian, so they have to spend ages mining it while underwater to get out. But my personal favorite is to shoot a bunch of tipped arrows in the water that hit anyone coming up. Instant damage or poison works to give them a real scare, but I prefer to use slowness to create just the tiniest inconvenience for them. One of the simplest ways to really make someone mad in Minecraft is to simply just fill up their house with water. It takes you 2 minutes to place a bunch of water or ice on their roof, but will take them forever to place and break blocks everywhere to get rid of it all. If you want to be really evil, you can bone meal a bunch of kelp to make all of the water source blocks, so without sponges, they're gonna be there for years. If you want to take your friend out in a super creative way, try using this super unique trick. When there's enough entities in a small place, it'll start dealing damage to them. That means if you can get your friend to fall into a hole with a bunch of minecarts, it'll start damaging them automatically. One of the oldest ways to mark your base, though, is to simply just pillar up super high with blocks, giving you a beacon to follow home. These pillars can be useful in tons of places, but can be really annoying to tear down. So if you don't have scaffolding, try using gravel or sand. Then whenever you want to get rid of it, just place a torch or pressure plate below, and it will delete itself in a very satisfying way. Instead of spending ages converting all your concrete powder to concrete before building, just build any walls or floors out of the powder and flood it afterwards. And if you're ever left with a ton of wet sponges for whatever reason, don't dry them in a furnace. Instead, take them to the nether where they'll dry out instantly in the heat. Then you can use an enchanted hoe to pick them up super fast and get straight back to sucking. God, why did I just say that? But how exactly do you get lots of bone meal fast if you can't find a cherry blossom biome? One of the best supplies for this is the soul sand valleys in the nether. You should be breaking each bone block you see here since they give 9 bone meal apiece. Couple this up with the farming techniques I told you about, and you could dominate your entire server with the amount of food you'd have. Yeah, I'm starting to think I like food a bit too much. What if I told you that it's possible to have ladders without having any ladders? For some reason, Minecraft freaks out when it comes to scaffoldings and lets you jump on their edge. This means you can spam the spacebar and get all the way to the top super fast. However, this isn't limited to scaffoldings alone. You can do this with powdered snow too. And getting down is incredibly simple. Just hold crouch while you're on the edge. Bad idea. If you thought that it rains because of clouds, you're a noob. Above the first set of clouds you see is another set of clouds that you can't see. According to Notch, this grey area is actually where the rain actually comes from. What's even weirder is that the rain falls 1 block into the void layer. Yeah, this was definitely never meant to happen. Speaking of, if you're looking for a block to build your TNT base farms out of, waterlogged leaves might be for you. They're totally blast resistant and super easy to get a hold of. Just be careful you don't accidentally flood your redstone. End portal flames are one of the only impossible blocks to break in Minecraft, right? Wrong! Using a red mushroom placed just right, you can grow it with bone meal and use it to totally delete the frames. Chests usually can't be opened when they've got a block above them, so explain how this works. It's actually just a stair placed backwards. This also works with any other block that's not just as big as a normal block, such as farmland or path blocks, and leaves you a bunch of new opportunities to hide away your goodies. Skeletons can usually see you from about this far. It's around 16 blocks, which, to be fair, is pretty good for a life form with bones for eyeballs. But if you chuck on a mob head like a zombie or skeleton skull, this distance gets much smaller and allows you to get as close as 8 blocks away without them seeing you. The only problem is that now I can't see anything. Speaking of Minecraft dungeons, it is filled with mobs that so far haven't been added to the regular game. One of these is the Ice Soldier. What a strange name. Thank God some game files call it the Chillager. That's a much better name. The Chillager is a mysterious, cloaked type of pillager, and summons ice chunks that it hurls at the player, dealing damage and slowness if it hits. It was actually part of the 2020 Minecraft mob vote, but was just beaten by the glow squid. I'm looking at you, Dream. This is why there's an achievement in dungeons called Isolager's Revenge for killing a glow squid with an ice staff. But we'll talk more about the mob votes later, including a hidden Minecraft sea monster? How about this sick-looking wizard illager called the Wind Caller? Apparently it possesses mastery over the wind, so it's literally an airbender. Wind callers fly around in the sky, using its staff to blow gusts of wind at you, as well as summon tornadoes beneath you, launching you into the air. Guys, we've just invented a new form of air travel. There's also the Mage Villager, a purple wizard that magically picks you up and then smashes you back into the ground without the yelling, but you can yell if you want to. Smash! It feels good. And finally, these tough, rugged mountaineers. They use their ice picks to attack you and deal damage that way. They're also able to dig their picks into the ground so they don't get blown away by the harsh mountain winds. Could you imagine if Minecraft had all these cool mobs and ideas? It'd be so cool! Silverfish are the most annoying mob ever. I'm not sure I've met anyone that likes them or even knows why they're in the game. But somehow Mojang managed to make them even worse. Back in the Minecraft 2.0 April Fool's update, they added redstone bugs, and they are exactly as they sound, having a chance to spawn whenever redstone was set off. The more of them nearby, the higher the chance they had to spawn, meaning they got out of control very easily. I mean, very easily. They're everywhere! Help! We all know the trident is the most useless weapon in the entire game, but they actually have a secret use only pro players know. If you charge up a Riptide trident underwater with a sword in your hand, you'll turn into a supercharged torpedo that can kill almost any sea creature. And if you've got an elytra, try taking to the skies while it's raining and using the same trick to literally become a missile that destroys any mobs above ground too. Gas tiers can be super annoying to collect. I don't think I've ever fought a gas that wasn't over a giant lava pit. That's why the best players bring a fishing rod to the nether that they can use to pull mobs back over dry land to take out with a sword. This doesn't just work for gas either. You can stop these pesky blazers from getting away, and it even lets you get sick kills on piglins. That'll teach him for stealing my gold. Enchanting can be really annoying when the bottom slot just shows up with them breaking or an enchant you just don't want. But you can fix it with a wooden shovel. Turns out it's true. If you enchant any useless tool at level 1, it'll re-roll the entire set of enchants, letting you make the perfect set of gear. One of the most common items you can get in ruined portal chests are these seemingly useless fortune gold pickaxes. This thing will break after like 3 iron ore. What's the point? Well, if you're in the smartest 0.5%, you'll know that pickaxes don't break when destroying crops, so you can use the fortune enchant to get extra resources from your farm for free. Your friend keeps cutting down your favorite tree? Get revenge with this new trick. Hide anvils in the trunk among the leaves. If someone cuts through enough of the tree, the anvil will fall right on top of them. This silky little trick is great if your friend has a fear of spiders. Fill their house with cobwebs, making them slowly trudge through their own home. Then put a single spider in their bedroom to attack. When they complain, just blame the spider. Lava doesn't burn scaffolding, so try this trick on a friend trying to break your stuff. Put scaffolding in your house that looks like you use it as a ladder. At the top, put some lava and hide it from view. If your friend wants to be mean and break your scaffold, they'll be greeted with a face full of lava. This next evil trick is quick and easy. Wait at the top of a bubble stream shaft. Shoot a bunch of arrows of harming into the top. And when your friend gets to the top, they'll get hit and maybe even die. This naughty little trick is also really simple. If your friend boasts about their log cabin, go around their house, stripping a block here and there at random. It will look dreadful. Skeleton skulls also match really well with andesite or diorite walls, zombie skulls with mossy cobble, and wither skulls with deep slate walls. I don't know what you could use this for other than making gravestones, but hey, you again! Stop taking my job! The nerve of some people. Anyway, ever wanted to play pool in Minecraft? Well, you can't, sorry to disappoint. But you can make a pretty cool looking pool table by placing signs like this underneath green carpets and then surrounding it with trapdoors. But for a build hack you can use, try building this hammock. Hook it up using fence gates on the side, then attach some stairs, trapdoors to place the bed on, and some signs to complete the shape. You can even change the bed color to match the wood type for peak color coordinated comfort. Iron golems are also immune to drowning, but they're so heavy they can't actually swim. This means you can trap an iron golem underwater and take it out super easily. Given they're literally made out of fire, it's not hard to guess that blazes are weak to water, but it's a little inconvenient to make use of this. So instead, try bringing some snowballs to the fortress, as they actually damage them quite a lot. Just 7 snowballs can take out a blaze despite dealing no damage to any other mob. Most people try to kill gas with their own fireballs, which, don't get me wrong, is extremely fun, but also kinda dangerous. Gas actually only have 5 hearts of health, meaning that instead of risking your life for a stylish kill, you can just shoot them once with a power 2 bow. Now that is weak. This villager is so rare, they literally can't spawn on their own. There are no swamp or jungle villagers normally, so you have to get one zombified. Stick him in a boat, take him away to the swamp or jungle and cure him there. Ta-da! The new look is very snazzy. An enderman that's immune to water? Endermen hate water, but if an enderman spawns in a cauldron full of water, they're absolutely fine. Let's hope they don't learn this trick, as they're already a major problem. Deep in the ancient cities is a rare and super useful swift sneak enchantment. It is only available in loot chests in ancient cities and can speed up your sneaking speed. Get lucky enough to find a a level 3 book, and you're going the same speed as your regular walking.
I am speed!
In Minecraft 1.13 pre-6, there was a super rare bug where you could get 3 chests with a single double chest. That might sound crazy, but hear me out. This glitch only happened in woodland mansions when a double chest spawned on a chunk boundary. Because of some weird game mechanics, the chest would get split into 2 sides, one that acted like a double chest and one that was a single chest. To date, there are only a total of 3 known seeds where this happened. This bug should have stayed! Do you love armor trims but can't find them no matter how much you try? Well, I've got you covered. The moment you spawn into this seed, you'll see a woodland mansion where you can find the Vex armor trims. But go below the ground and you'll find this gigantic ancient city where you have a 1.2% chance to find the silent armor trims. It gets even better though, because if you enter the nether directly from your spawn, you'll find 2 bastion remnants. How does this world even exist? The killer bunny is almost as historical as Herobrine, but only a few people know how rare this actually was. Initially, Jeb had set its spawn rate to 1 out of 1,000, but he decided this was far too common and changed it to 1 out of 2,500, instead making it super rare. Unfortunately, Jeb removed this, saying it's an overdone joke and a random death event. What does he mean? This fellow is so cute. No, stop! What's better than a normal mushroom? A brown mushroom! This is an almost impossible to see variant that is found only when a normal mushroom is struck by lightning. That means the chances of this spawning is 1 in 1,024. However, they aren't just novelty. You can use a bowl to milk them and get a suspicious stew? I wonder what this does. I bet you $1 million that you've never noticed this next fact. In Minecraft, apples dropping from leaf blocks have a 1 in 200 chance, while for saplings there's only 1 in 5. However, what if both were able to drop from the same block? Well, your luck is off the charts since this only happens 0.00025% of the time. One of Minecraft's most valuable objects is ender pearls. Unfortunately, getting them can prove to be quite difficult because of a certain someone. But I'll let you in on a secret. You can fix this problem in seconds. All you need to do is build a massive hole like so and build a tower right above it when you're in the end dimension. This should be at least 3 blocks high. This is because endermen are roughly the same height as this, so once they fall in, they can't even touch you. Oh, come here, you cutie. Look, he's harmless. I spoke too soon. Look at how boring this armor looks. And look at it now. Did you see how much of a difference having an armor trim makes? And my personal favorites are the silence and water armor trims. But when it comes to looting them from ancient cities, my luck is straight up horrible. No, stay away from me! Anyway, there are a few things you can do to maximize both your loot and safety in ancient cities. One of these is always using a recovery compass to make sure that your loot is never lost and you can continue from where you left off. Secondly, only massive noobs search for ancient cities manually. Just head on over to Chunk Base and plug in your world seed to find all the ancient cities next to you.
But Mallow, isn't this cheating?
Hey, we want to get rich, alright? Who cares about ethics? All these methods are quite expensive though. If you want the cheapest possible way to protect your base, try literally just placing boats all the way around it. When it turns nighttime, any mobs that try to attack will get stuck in them and serve as a defense against players. Another super cheap method of defense is to just wire up a super annoying noise to start playing as soon as someone enters. When this door is opened, an observer gets pushed over here and triggers all these blocks over and over, creating a circuit that will drive a thief crazy and even work as a perfect alarm system. But sometimes players aren't just trying to steal your loot, they're out for blood, so an alarm system just won't cut it. To truly fortify your base, try building your base using stairs placed like this. If you fill them with water, it won't spill everywhere, and it makes your entire base completely resistant to TNT, stopping raiders and creepers in their tracks. And if you want to take this to the next level, try placing a line of observers below the outside blocks hooked up to TNT. These will trigger as soon as the stairs are broken, blowing the raiders up instantly while your base sits there totally unharmed. You know those little waterfalls that come out of mountains? They're perfect for secret entrances. Just break 1 block behind the source and dig down a little, and then you're free to build anything you want down there. Just be careful not to place any lights too close to the entrance, because that looks sus. If you use invisible item frames with the fake block trick from before, you can create one-way glass that you can use to secretly spy on all of your friends. This one definitely feels illegal. Uh-oh. It was a creeper! I'm always finding myself running out of room for storage, but who said we're not allowed to just build our house out of barrels or chests? Problem solved. Now I can get all of my items when— Hey! Give that back! But the coolest part about them is that comparators can actually detect if there's a book placed in a specific slot, meaning we can finally make one of those awesome secret bookshelf entrances. If anyone knows about it, they'd have to know exactly which book in exactly which bookshelf unlocks the door, letting you hide some seriously secure secrets. We've also got a new setting that allows you to see all the secret hidden creative items. This includes command blocks, all the different types of light level blocks, which are gonna be super useful for builders, and even the secret debug stick item that lets you change the form of any block you want by just clicking on it. Camels are by far the coolest passive mob we've ever got. Not only can you ride them with a saddle, but they're so tall that zombies and spiders can't touch you while you're on one. You can also dash while riding them, and best of all, 2 people can ride them at once. The only drawback to camels is that sometimes they'll get bored, lie down on the floor, and refuse to move. Just like me. After literally 10 years of asking for it, we finally were given a cherry blossom biome. Woohoo! It's filled with the prettiest trees in the entire game, as well as these tiny flowers called pink petals. The leaves even give off a cool particle effect, just like the spore blossom. And if that's not enough, this is one of the only biomes in the game that bees can spawn in. This is paradise! If only they'd added water in these biomes so we could get places like those awesome cherry-filled rivers in Japan. And for any builders out there, these logs can be stripped or turned into pink planks that I definitely won't be building my entire house with, because I'm a man. Oh my god, it's so pretty! Anyway, the Cherry Grove biome actually hides a secret you probably didn't know about. Because it usually generates around mountains, it actually spawns emeralds underground. However, the cherry biome itself is actually pretty rare, so it might be easier to just head to a mountain anyway. They're much easier to spot too.
Have you ever wanted to ruin your friend's base with nothing but an annoying noise? Well, there are a few mobs in Minecraft that can make some pretty annoying noises. First up, you have creepers and their hissing noise, but this may be a little too destructive for a harmless prank. There are also bats, but they despawn way too frequently. There's one more mob above all of these that can be a real pain for all of your friends, the goat. If you hide enough goats underneath your friend's base, they will scream non-stop. If you hide them well enough, then your friend may not be able to find them, turning their house into a horror movie. There is a way to crash a Minecraft server using the player inventory and a single command. By running the command /give player stake 999999, you can overflow their inventory, causing 997,695 stakes to be dropped on the floor, and this would crash literally any Minecraft server due to the sheer amount of stakes being dropped. Minecraft has to figure out a value for each and every stake and give it an animation too, and as such, this will overload the CPU of the server and destroy it. If you suck at PvP, there is one way that you can absolutely destroy any server filled with good PvPers, and all it takes is some potions. By brewing various invisibility potions and some harming 2 potions, you can easily kill your foes. But there are a couple of things you need to remember. First of all, you need to ensure while you are invisible, you walk and not sprint. This prevents any sound from being heard by your opponent. Then you want to make sure you hit at least 3 of the harming 2 potions on your foe, as this will do 18 hearts of damage. From there, you just hit them with a powerful sword a couple of times, and you have killed just about any good PvP player, unless they have a totem. This one does very heavily rely on the element of surprise. Sometimes though, all you need to destroy a server is an old classic, a boatload of TNT. Because of the way TNT works in Minecraft, by being all of a block, entity, and falling entity, if you place and detonate enough TNT, you can break just about any server. So let's give it a try. Okay, just gotta place some TNT here, then just fill this all in, and voila! This is gonna be way more than enough. Okay, here we go! Whoa, no way! Oh no, my PC is starting to struggle. And there goes the server. See, just having enough TNT can truly destroy a Minecraft server without any commands and any gimmicks. It just takes a lot of gunpowder. The way Minecraft is coded actually makes it one of the buggiest games in the industry. But more often than not, these bugs are gonna be incredibly hard to find. However, one of the most well-known bugs in Minecraft comes with getting onto the nether roof, and this can break a Minecraft server with a little bit of tricking your friends. If you manage to trick one of your friends to follow you onto the nether roof, you can actually get them stuck up there. This breaks a Minecraft server because you will be the only person capable of surviving. There is, of course, one block that has become famous for exclusively being in the Pocket Edition of Minecraft, and that is the Nether Reactor Core. The Nether Reactor Core was implemented by Minecraft to tackle the problems mobile devices would have with generating the Nether. It was a very useful way of getting Nether blocks despite how creepy it looked. I do not feel good about this. Since the aquatic update, there have not been many new features added to the oceans of Minecraft. Well, at least for Java
Edition. In Bedrock Edition, Microsoft decided they would implement yet another adorable creature into the games when they added the baby dolphin. Why can't this be in Java too? It is so adorable. Everyone knows about Bedrock being called Bug Rock, and this is because Bedrock is a very buggy version of Minecraft. However, some of these bugs are technically features of Bedrock Edition, such as the fox having double the amount of health in Bedrock. This is most likely one of the many bugs plaguing Bedrock Edition. However, it could well be a feature. Have you seen a pyramid in Minecraft? No, not that one. These mysterious pyramids used to dot the landscape far away from the player and were completely solid. That's right, no rooms or even a secret base here, just bricks all the way through. This is because back in the day there was no way to actually craft bricks, so Mojang just dropped piles of bricks around the world like it was a construction site. This potion is stinky! This one is suave, and this one is really milky. Potions used to have 32 different varieties, with different effects and colors, way back in Beta 1.9, pre-release 2. Some of them had really bizarre names too. How can a potion be Debonair? Let me test it with a taste. Ah! Oh, it's happening! I'm becoming Debonair! Well, hello there. Now, I definitely can't unsee this. When you connect two blocks of this glazed terracotta together, you end up with the face of a penguin. They're peeking up over the edge of the block. Put them in your guest bedroom so they can watch your friends sleep. This villager is unemployed and he just hates it. Now you can tell. Put a workstation 32 blocks away in a super complex maze. The villager will make his way to it without fail. Look at him go. This diamond sword looks so awesome and blue, but it's actually hiding a secret. Did you know that if you lower the contrast on your device to 0, you're gonna find that it looks exactly the same as the iron sword? I spent so many diamonds on this sword and it doesn't even look different. These bees are so heavy. Or maybe turtle eggs are super fragile because even bees, one of the smallest mobs in the game, will break eggs below them. Flying doesn't help either, as the Ghast, Phantom, and Alley all break eggs below them. What did the eggs do so wrong? When I look at a llama, all I will see is a vengeful beast because of this secret behavior. If you have the llama on a leash and you do something to upset it, it'll spit at you and will not stop until you are dead. The piglins, they won't stop shouting. It's all I can hear. Maybe I should put this gold away, because it turns out that if there's gold that the piglins can't reach, they'll just shout and yell over and over, waiting for someone to finally pick up the gold. The icy biomes in Minecraft desperately need more mobs. Currently, the only native land mob in the icy biomes is the polar bear. However, thanks to this genius build hack, you can actually add a brand new mob to your icy biomes. By using 2 blocks of black concrete, some banners, and a red sandstone slab, you can create this penguin for your world. Unfortunately though, it does not really do much. It just kind of stands there? Will you stop staring at me? I drink a lot of coffee. However, there is still nothing in Minecraft that really satisfies my need for caffeine. So I came up with a way to build a coffee machine within Minecraft. Just get a dispenser, push an armor stand through some blocks, give it an iron chest plate, and then push some blocks into it from above. And voila, you have a coffee machine. I'm a huge Disney fan, and one Disney movie that never gets enough credit is The Sword in the Stone. So in my house, I decided I wanted a monument to the film that really should not be doable in Minecraft. Place a slab and 3 stairs in a circle. Use a dispenser to put an armor stand in the middle, and then push it down with some blocks. Push an end rod in to cover the gap in between the armor stand, and then you have your very own sword in the stone. I just wish it would come out! Inside the house is a huge bed that lets you sleep under the covers in this genius hack. Surround your bed in trapdoors and make a larger frame, and cover the top of your beds with carpet. Hanging signs are a fun recent addition. You can use them to make an innovative, if scary looking bridge. What's amazing about this is that players can walk on it, but a lot of mobs will fall through the gaps. You can also use the hanging signs to make a broken bridge. This can hang off the side of a cliff for a fun and foreboding decoration to a castle or village. A secret stairway can be a great feature for your house, and all it takes is some redstones and some sticky pistons connected to your stairs in this crazy trick. The backs of the stairs will blend in with the rest of the wall until you turn the handle and expose it all. This treehouse has the most bizarre staircase ever. If you ever want to make a natural looking staircase, use trapdoors and slabs. This lets the staircase blend into the natural environment surrounding it. However, it does make the staircase slightly unbearable to climb. Armor stands are boring! However, I found a way to build an awesome base defense mechanism. By using a number of different blocks, you can build these amazing looking statues to defend your house from any unwanted invaders. They are certainly a lot more imposing than anything else I've ever seen. Tables are kind of boring within Minecraft. You can either have this fence with a pressure plate on top, or this one. However, there is one way to build a table for your dining room that breaks the rules. Simply use trapdoors instead. This still makes the table look normal, but does not make it too big. What a lovely design. Starting out on any Minecraft world can be tough. However, did you know that technically every
every house you build breaks the rules? According to the official Minecraft handbook, your first house should always look like this. You are kidding, right, Mojang? I have been in this world for years and I still live in a rectangular wooden box. Witch huts have the ability to spawn, witches. But also, each time one is generated, a black cat will also spawn inside. They do have a tendency to walk off, but this is actually one of only 2 ways to find this sleek variant of Kitty. The only other way is wait until a full moon and venture out into a village, where each cat has a 50% chance of spawning as this magical black version. Have you ever run out of gold for powered rails because you never collect it when you're caving? Don't worry, so has literally everybody else that plays this game, but that means there's a solution! Putting a saddled pig in the minecart makes it go much faster on iron rails. It's kinda weird because you have to press the backwards key to move forwards, but it works just fine otherwise. Piglins are primal tribal creatures and do everything together as a group. Most people know they hunt down hoglins together, but you probably didn't know that there's a small chance that they'll dance together after taking one out. Almost every animal in Minecraft has a baby variant. Cats have kittens, sheep have lambs, bees have, well, smaller bees. But one animal we will never get the baby variant of is a dolphin. For a short while, it appeared we were going to get baby dolphins as they appeared on Bedrock, but it turns out this was just a bug that was quickly patched. Give us the baby dolphins! Chickens are already in Minecraft, and they are fine. But we want yet another feather friend added to the game, as once upon a time, Mojang were toying around with adding ducks into Minecraft. Ducks would have been an aquatic reskin of chickens that could swim, lay eggs, and occasionally give duck feathers. Unfortunately though, Mojang thought that ducks were not a great mob to be added. Ah, duck! Excuse my language. In the 1.6 update of Minecraft, they added horses, and it turns out this was brought in from an unofficial fan mod. Mojang saw Dr. Zark's Mo Creatures mod, and even copied the horse model itself. Wandering traders look great, but what your friends don't know is that you can breed their llamas, and the babies will keep the clothes of their parents. It's a weird little detail, but you can make a whole army of fashionable llama. Mojang love making secret references to other games, such as when an evoker sees a blue sheep. The evoker casts a unique spell, makes a weird wololo sound, and turns a sheep red. It's a reference to Age of Empires, where monks would convert enemies to their side, chanting wololo and changing their color. Speaking of beds, did you know that there used to be a sky dimension planned for Minecraft? It was supposed to be a magical realm in the sky that you could access through dreams. Each time you went to sleep, there would be a chance you'd wake up here instead. Unfortunately, this idea was eventually replaced by the end, but I'd love to see them bring back this idea. While you were busy having sniper duels or hiding away praying they wouldn't see you, skeletons have been hiding a dark secret. Okay, it's not that dark, but around 11% of them are actually left-handed and hold their bows differently to the rest. Apparently, this is to mirror the amount of real people who are left-handed. Also, even though wither skeletons can't spawn naturally with a bow, they still have a line of code that lets them shoot fire arrows when they're given one with commands. Weird, right? Have you ever noticed that the sky actually changes color during the wither fight? That's right, as soon as the fight begins, the horizon turns a deep, ashy gray, and some clouds become much darker. Too bad nobody will ever see this because we all fight the wither underground now. Like mole people. Putting carpets on top of fences lets you jump over them while keeping animals in. But did you know there's an even better way of doing this? Animals can jump over trapdoors just fine going one way, but if they try to leave, they walk straight into them. This makes it 100 times easier to collect animals and get in and out your pen without 1,000 chickens escaping through the gate. For a long time, Mojang were experimenting with adding crocodiles and alligators to the game. These mobs would have brought with them items that could be turned into armor, weapons, and fashion accessories. However, since Mojang has now taken such a big stance on not adding real animals to Minecraft, they decided to bench this idea, thankfully. There is one animal that has become very famous over the last couple of years that Mojang refuses to add to the game. This is the capybara, an adorable little friend that could have made for an amazing traveling companion or even just a friend to welcome you home after your mining expedition. Please, Mojang, add the cappies. Why do we have pyramids in Minecraft but we do not have a mummy mob? Well, that is actually for a very good reason. When Mojang first added pyramids to Minecraft, they considered what mobs they could add to enhance the feeling of walking through a pyramid, but they could not settle on a good mummy design. And as such, they decided it would be best to add in the husk instead. The light of a beacon looks great from close or far. A cool secret aspect is how it reacts to stained glass. Each glass put in the way of the beam changes the color, making millions of possible shades. Here's a fact you might not know. The illusioner can't handle boats. They get so confused that when shooting their bows, the arrows go backwards. In the original trailer for Minecraft, way back in 2011, this mysterious other variant of Steve was present. He's not available as a choice in the launcher, so this is the only
example of him that exists. The end wasn't always where it is now. During early developments, the end was supposed to be a sky dimension. Secretly, they saw the sky dimension as heaven and the nether as hell. Being stuck in a cave without any torches is one of the worst places a player can find themselves in. But this rejected miner's helmet would have brought an end to that. This helmet was intended to have a torch on top of it that would light the way as you explored the caves. But why was this rejected? Well, probably because it would require dynamic lighting, similar to how Optifine does lighting and torches. But who knows? Maybe one day we will see this helmet again. Minecraft skins are kind of pointless. You can't see your own skin in first person, leading to most single players just never setting a skin. Obviously, you have access to F5, but what would Minecraft have looked like if our next rejected idea got into the game? Mirrors. Imagine the builds people would have made using mirror mazes, huge reflective art, and so much more. This one is a real shame. I just want to stare at myself all day. I hate having to take my bed everywhere in Minecraft. I could be planning a huge adventure to find a hidden treasure, and I'd have to pack all the essentials. My tools, some food, and an entire queen-size bed. It just feels wrong, and I now see why. There was a rejected Minecraft idea that was always intended to take over for beds in this style. The sleeping bag. The sleeping bag would have been more like a portable bed, but then Mojang realized there was not much point in adding this to the game when people could just make another bed. The Minecraft soundtrack changes depending on what time of day it is, meaning if you want a certain soundtrack to play, just use the command and change it back to the time of day you remember it playing at. Oh man, this track is so beautiful. Oh! Who said it today? Who? Huh? I know karate! Because soul sand isn't a full block, you can't really place falling blocks on top of it. Or at least without having your blocks turn into fragile block entities. If you've ever created a staircase, you'd realize how annoying it is to have to go up and down and back up again. Who invented stairs? I will fight you! But there's a way out of the never-ending pain. Because if you place a torch on the block you're using, you can place a block on the side. And if you keep recycling your torches, you'll soon enough have a really long staircase. Just don't look at it from the side. This waterfall shouldn't exist. The water doesn't rise up at any point as it flows around this track. And yet, as it reaches the end, it hits a waterfall and lands back down. You can even get a minecart to follow the water in its impossible journey. But it's all about perspective. Move away from this spot, and you can see how the minecart rises up to the top. It's a magic trick! Don't tell anyone though, or the magic police will come for me. Have you ever seen amazing graffiti and wanted it in your world? I made this amazing graffiti using concrete powder placed in the wall, and the spray cans are colored candles to match the colors on the wall. Wait a minute, I didn't make this graffiti! Hey, you damn kids, get away from my house! Did you know that you can tap into the ultimate power of the end crystal? This cool power generator design is built around an end crystal, with stained glass to obscure or make it seem even more vibrant with power. Oxidized copper has an industrial, yet sci-fi green color to really show it's high-tech. Just make sure you don't touch the— Did you know that you can use signs to hide secret messages without writing on them? They're a little taller than a block high, so you can put carpet on top of them and they poke through. Some people use this to make patterns, but you can use them to hide secret words and messages that most players will never notice. Use a VPN. Microsoft hate when people try to bend the rules, so they will ban you if they find out you're using a VPN. You can use Mojang as a weapon. Go into a server and report everyone in the server to be banned. It might even work, getting innocent people banned for no reason. But if the server owners don't ban you, Mojang will catch on and ban you for false reports. Rule PvP with this evil cheat that will definitely get you banned. If you can access commands, turn your armor invisible with this command. That'll teach them for giving you so much power. Is your friend one of those people that has a bunch of those drop chutes in their base to get around? A super simple way to mess with them is to simply change the water to a lapis block or blue stained glass. But a lot of people have grown wise to this and will check first. That's why you can add this setup of chests and water at the bottom so you can jump down and be totally fine. But when your friend follows you, he'll have a slightly less safe landing. Another similar trap is to place a drip leaf above a huge pit. When you fall onto it, you'll be totally fine. But it'll flip down when your friend falls and send them into the deep dark pit below. Did you know that observers can tell when you hop in a bed? This gives me an idea. Using a simple circuit with a dispenser, you can create a machine that'll stop them from ever sleeping. There's always one guy that's super protective about their builds and won't let you anywhere near them. And obviously, you can't just blow their base up. Or can you? Well, that didn't work. So instead, if you've got any copper in their build, try using an axe on it to change the color, and then waxing it with honeycomb. Or if they have logs, simply strip them with an axe to change the color. Such a simple troll that will easily ruin any friendships you may have left. But there's actually an even more efficient way to use coal, and that's by simply just crafting a campfire. With just one coal, you can cook infinite food by right-clicking it on the campfire. Each one takes 30 seconds to cook, but given you can do 4 at once, it's actually faster than a furnace too. In PvP games like Sky Wars and Bed Wars, the simple act of bridging is incredibly important, so pros have developed tons of ways to bridge as fast as possible. There's speed bridging that requires timing your crouches perfectly, breezily bridging where you spam A and D and click around 15 times a second, God bridging where you literally just walk backwards and time your clicks perfectly, and the most insane of all, tele bridging. There's really nothing else to say about this other than you should probably go outside if you can do it. There's also this one, but like, come on. Villages are notoriously hard to move around. You either spend the next decade of your life using boats or just pray they do what you want them to. But there's actually a hidden pro strategy you can use to get hundreds of villagers to go exactly where you want. If you destroy every nearby bed and place one down near a bell where you need them to move to, ringing the bell will summon every nearby villager to that bed. Minecraft has had a massive run of bugs and items that should never have existed. But there was one that was far more insane than anything you'll ever see. In one of the earliest alphas in 2010, pressing F4 would allow you to spawn in nether portals. What was Mojang even thinking? Did you know you can make TNT blocks freak out completely? By placing an anvil on top of TNT before lighting it up, you can make it do 0 damage. You can do this for massive amounts of TNT and give your friends a heart attack. Or if you want TNT to explode underwater, place a block of sand above it and then light it up. And you might be wondering how this works. Well, you'd be surprised to know I don't know either. One of the most hyped features for the game was the sky dimension that Notch wanted to add during early development. But unfortunately, this never happened. However, there was something similar in its very first year of launch. In the in-depth version, you could set your map type to floating island. This was similar to the buffet world types we've seen recently, and the entire surface used to be covered with bedrock. Yeah, we definitely need this back. A campfire smoke is kind of pathetic. It only lasts for about 10 blocks before fading away. However, if you place a hay bale beneath it, it'll use that extra fuel to create a 25-block high smoke stream. It's obviously super cute that foxes can pick up and steal your items, but did you know they can actually use them too? If you try killing a fox while it's holding a totem, it won't die and just runs away from you like the monster you are. Luckily, this feature doesn't work on dogs. Foxes can also eat chorus fruit if given the opportunity, and presumably get really confused after. You can go upstairs much faster if you've got auto jump enabled. Finally, maybe a reason to use this. Every Minecraft player's worst nightmare is having a creeper sneak in or spawn in their base and having it blow up everything. But to make this a little less disastrous, you can waterlog your chests to make them blast resistant. Turns out there's actually a bunch more golems that Mojang never ended up adding. First off, there's the furnace golem from Minecraft Earth. They're another variant of the classic iron golem, but have a burning desire to take out any mob using their fiery attacks. Alongside its normal melee attack, they were even able to light the ground around their enemy on fire, which caused real trouble for the village they were protecting. Then there's the squall golem. These guys behave eerily similar to the warden. In dungeons, they start off totally still on the ground until a nearby resonance crystal is activated. This is when they power up and quickly charge towards you, attacking you with quick, fast-paced attacks like a supercharged iron golem. They can even cause huge shockwaves that send you flying through the air. And we can't forget the infamous redstone monstrosity, a gigantic golem boss that's even immune to lava. It's a huge, hulking mechanical piece of rock covered in redstone patches with 3 glowing eyes and 2 massive horns on its head. It has tons of powerful attacks, including a fireball attack where it shoots projectiles that deal huge damage, a slam attack where it hits the ground and knocks you back like a TNT blast, and a summon attack where 12 redstone cubes leap from the ground and attack you. If you ask me, this seems way more fun than the Ender Dragon fight. I'm about to start playing dungeons instead. Sayonara, Minecraft. Anyway, did you know trains actually exist in Minecraft? And I'm not talking about minecarts. Well, technically they're called caravans, but if you attach a lead to just one llama, all nearby llamas will quickly run into formation and start following you around. With enough patience, you can breed llamas to have 15 slots of storage space, meaning you can carry around 150 shulkers worth of items with just a single lead. And when you're done with these llamas, if you attach the least one to a fence and then dispatch it, it'll lead the lead on the fence, giving you an extra bit of detail to decorate with. A real dirty trick only works if your friend puts down signs. Be a little mischievous by moving the signs around and swapping them about. They'll get lost in no time. In a snowy area, try this bouncy castle trick. Build a castle with a spot where you need to drop down. Cover the lower area with slime blocks. Cover that with snow. And when your friend drops mobs down onto it. They'll bounce wildly out of control into whatever hazard you want. This trick is simple and classic. Chests don't open when there's a block above them, so put some obsidian on top and watch your friends slowly chip away just so they can access their tools. This next trick requires your very own pet zombie. Put a name tag on them, hide them under your friend's bed, and watch as a game won't let them sleep because enemies are too close by. Unfortunately, you can only get invisible item frames in creative, but there's sort of a solution in survival. If you place a block in an item frame on the floor, a snow layer will fully cover up the item frame but leave the block exposed, allowing you to, I don't know, make pebbles or something? You know how to make a bird cage? How about an aquarium? This one's actually even easier, but probably just as cruel. All you have to do is surround a chest with trapdoors, place a glass block on top, then waterlog the chest with a bucket of fish, and boom! You've trapped him forever. Sorry, fishy. Witches might seem like one of the most dangerous mobs in the game, but they're actually completely defenseless against ranged attacks. If you want to abuse this the most, try grabbing a crossbow and a power 5 bow, and shooting them right after each other. The witch dies instantly.
Not so powerful now, are you?
Striders obviously feel most comfortable in lava. I mean, you've seen what they look like on land, so predictably, if you go to all the effort to bring one from the nether into the overworld, first of all, you're a monster! But secondly, they'll take damage in water. So if you need an unconventional string farm, you know what to do. Magma cubes are more dangerous than slimes, but they still have the same issue. However, the only danger they'll really face is those big cliffs in the nether since they're immune to fire damage. You may think they're also weak to water like striders, but for some reason they just like chilling it. I guess there's no water in the nether, so it kinda makes sense. But what if you're just lucky? If you're walking through the game and find this adorable little lamb, you might be the luckiest gamer alive. This pink lamb can naturally spawn, but it's so rare most players never see it. There's only a 0.0082% chance of spawning. You could fake that with dye, but one secret mob you can't fake is a rare and exclusive brown panda. You have to find this super rare panda the hard way. One item Mojang never even intended to make is the fabled triple chest. It has only been recorded once in the entire history of Minecraft, in an old version of the game. In the abandoned mine, back when mine chests didn't spawn in minecarts, they could spawn next to a monster spawner's chest, making a fully functional triple chest. The high-level secret that many players don't know exists is a conduit. This special beacon-style item creates an underwater zone where you can never drown, or hurting any naturally hostile underwater mobs nearby. It's so hard to get though that it needs a heart of the sea, nautilus shells, and plenty of prismarine just to function at all.
Chickens! I'll fry them all!
I mean, catch some with my insane luck. In Minecraft, there's only a 12.5% chance that a chick will spawn from an egg. If this happens, there is a further 3.125% chance that 3 chicks spawn instead of 1. So, how lucky would you have to be to pull this off with 16 eggs? The correct answer is not a 1 in a million, or even a billion, but a staggering 1 in 200 trillion. All that for chicken? Nah, I prefer my beef instead. It is actually possible to calculate the largest cave system in Minecraft 1.6.4. After doing a bunch of crazy math, we can conclude that the possibility of this happening is 1 in 8.8 times 10 to the power of 52. But that's far from the craziest part. In this older version of the game, there are only about 281 trillion possible cave systems, which is a much smaller value than the possibility for the largest cave. Yeah, good luck finding this one. Bedrock should be given an award for the world's buggiest mess, and understandably so. You've never noticed that there is a very small chance that if you use a weapon with the knockback enchantment, it will actually stack up. Wait, does this mean I can get knockback 1000? This villager trade is so incredibly overpowered you won't believe it exists. If you have a villager who trades emeralds for wheat in a desert village, you've just hit the jackpot, baby! All you need to do is go around the village, collect an absurd amount of hay bales, and craft all of them into wheat. Voila! Your very own emerald machine. The only downside to trading with villagers is that you'll be running out of emeralds very fast. So if you're a bit of a cheater like me, change the difficulty of your world to hard with a /difficulty command, and lure a zombie to a villager with the best trades. Once the villager gets zombified, trap him in an iron blocks, place a bed, and start stuffing him with golden apples and potions. Now you've got yourself the best deals on the planet. Although this does feel kind of wrong. What's better than food? Free food! And you can get this easily if you use a campfire to cook it, because this uses 0 fuel. I know I'm being a cheapskate here, but a penny saved is a penny earned. Am I right? You could even attach a hopper to the campfire and always have food ready for you. Be honest, how many times have you died at the worst time possible and lost everything? So if you don't want to end up like Filza, here's a trick to get infinite health and save all your goodies. First, eat an enchanted golden apple, and follow that up immediately with a plain golden apple. Wait for the absorption effect to run out, and then do this all over again. Do this correctly, and even the Ender Dragon can't do anything to you. Okay, maybe you can, but you get the point. You should know that if you're playing on hard mode, a door probably isn't enough to keep you safe from zombies. So instead, try placing 2 end rods like this as a door instead. You can slide through perfectly, but mobs have a really hard time. And if end rods aren't your style, this works with of bamboo, different kinds of fences, and even lightning rods. But I'll be careful using these in bad weather. These do have a slight drawback though, as if you manage to anger enough mobs, it can push each other through. So for an entrance that's almost foolproof, add a line of cobblestone walls with some carpets on top. Not even spiders can get past. Now think about it, if you can remove all the mobs in your world, there's no need to protect your base. So how on earth do you do that? Well, as usual, Lamango has a solution. If you create this super simple warden farm, you can use note blocks to lure dozens of wardens into this prison with a vine inside. Eventually, so many wardens will spawn that it prevents any mob from spawning anywhere in the entire world. However, this is terrifying, and there's a much easier way to get basically the same effect. Simply grab a boat and spend some time looking for a mushroom island. Other than the deep dark, which has other problems, this is the only place mobs won't spawn naturally. And it's the perfect backdrop to build an awesome fantasy base. They can be quite hard to find, but you can always use a seed map if you're feeling devious. Natural structures are basically just pre-built houses for you to use. Shipwrecks and jungle temples work great, but my favorite is the desert temple. Not only does it come with multiple rooms and doorways, it even has a section up top that perfectly fits a fully built beacon. What a time to be alive. Here's how to make a completely hidden base beneath your bed. Dig a hole beneath where your bed will go, add some trapdoors up top, and 2 minecarts placed like this on top of some ladders. Then add 2 beds on top and surround them with more trapdoors. Trust me, nobody's gonna find this. And if they do, ask them why they're snooping around your bed. You can also just use a stair below the bed, but that's way easier to see. Now, obviously, the best way to hide a base is to simply just put it behind a wall. But breaking and replacing the wall every time is so annoying. But luckily, there's a solution. If you create a stone generator that replaces the block that you break, all you'll have to do is break the blocks each time, and they'll magically cover up the entrance every time. The sniffer is another new mod that's been added, and oh my god, what is it? Seriously, like, what is that? I've got no idea. It can only be spawned in with eggs obtained from archaeology and just like sniffs, I guess? What a surprise! At least it looks cute though, even though all it can do is find these torch flower seeds. Wouldn't it be cool if instead of just seeds, it could also discover other items like diamonds? Or would that just be overpowered? In Bedrock Edition though, you can actually put these absolute units in boats and even flip them upside down with a dinner bone name tag. Ah, now I understand what they're for. Also, you can actually breed 2 sniffers together with the torch flowers they find to create a baby snifflet. Yes, the babies are called snifflets. Snifflets! Speaking of, the torch flower is actually the first flower we've ever had that is grown with seeds. Unfortunately, right now, all it can do is make orange dye and look pretty, which I think is a huge missed opportunity for another plant-based light source like the glowberries. It's literally called the torch flower, but also snifflets! The only other use for torch flowers is to make into suspicious stew, and will give you night vision for just a few seconds when you eat it. By the way, did you know that Mojang added suspicious stew as a way to teach people that the lily of the valley flower is poisonous? Cool idea, but this red mushroom you put in the stew is also super poisonous in real life, and I can eat it just fine? Might want to look at that one again, Mojang. Who doesn't want a rocket launcher? This would easily be both one of the best and also one of the least likely features to ever come to the game. Thankfully, the level of coding in Minecraft commands is so good that you can make a rocket launcher in Minecraft. By running this command, you can turn this boring old crossbow into a literal bazooka. This makes running around and shooting your friends with a crossbow way more interesting. We all have that one friend in Minecraft who never wants to PvP and instead just wants to make a giant farm. Boring! Well, if you have had enough of this, friend, then you should try this technique to not only ruin your friend's farm, but also potentially crash the Minecraft server. By building a huge platform in the sky, you can spawn loads of mobs. When you then break this platform, all the mobs will fall to the ground, causing both the wheat and seeds to pop up into the air, which causes an immense amount of lag. If your friend's farm is big enough, then you will be able to destroy all of his crops. Bedrock has one of the weirdest world generations out of any version of Minecraft. However, this first generation feature I could have sworn was exclusive to mods. In Bedrock Edition, there is a chance that when you spawn into a forest of any kind, you will find a log on the ground, almost as if a tree has fallen over. Why this didn't exist in Java Edition, we may never know. It seems that at one point, Microsoft were considering changing up the item pool for Bedrock Edition, as there are numerous textures that were exclusively found within the Bedrock Edition of Minecraft. These textures include things like a camera, chalkboard, and a weird blue textured rose. These features were never fully
fully implemented, but they were exclusive to Bedrock Edition for a while. Check out this magnificent build! Now it just needs some finishing touches. The dirt slab! It was the only slab ever removed because they ruined everything. They made hills look nicer, sure, but they messed with terrain generation so much that Mojang scrapped the whole thing. Not worth the effort for a slightly smaller clump of dirt. One cool trick you can do with gas fireballs is sending the fireball where your friends don't expect it. That's because the fireball goes in the direction you look when it gets hit. That means you can throw a snowball, turn your head toward your friend, and when the fireball gets hit, it'll blaze toward them with murderous intent. This little detail doesn't get noticed a lot because you only see it from far away. Everyone notices how the world generates around them, but actually, entities like chests and shulker boxes have their own range, at which point they disappear. You can even use this fact to hide stuff high in the sky, further than people on the ground can see. The Riptide Trident can let you fly through the air. But there's an issue. It works when you're wet, but if you're submerged in the water, you actually don't fly as high when you launch. This is because the water that you're in slows you down like crazy. Really, you should be standing in a puddle. And it works way better. Are you a fan of mining but hate the long and difficult journey down into your mine? Well then, build this compact staircase. This staircase has two amazing designs that will make your life so much easier. Simply place a trap door at the top and then go down to the bottom of your staircase and place a block of water. By doing this, you have a quick way down by dropping into the water, and you also have an easy way to come up when you are finished in the mines. In the upcoming release of Minecraft 1.21, we are going to be getting a really cool new functional block called the Crafter. And believe it or not, this block can be used to make some really cool designs, such as this really cool looking wall trim. And the best part is, you can expand on this design simply by making sure that the crafters are fully operational. Talk about function and beauty. You basically have to hold a strider hidden in the wall, sitting in a 2-block space of flowing lava. If you hold out the warped fungi, the strider will walk up the lava to get it, activating the mechanism and opening the door. Then when you put the fungi away, the strider will slide back into place. One crazy Minecraft fact is that chests don't burn, even in lava. So if you want to hide your valuables, put them under a lava lake. If it's shallow enough, like 1 block deep, then you can access the chest while staying on dry land, and the lava will cover it completely. Sharks are almost added to Minecraft, and even to this day, I wish they were. However, did you know that you can actually have jellyfish in your exotic fish aquarium? Simply use a pink glass block and a hanging root underneath it to give you this amazing jellyfish for your own personal aquarium. Sometimes people want to have some fun and sell some items to their friends on a server, and this next build hack really lets you have that amazing Japanese-inspired design. This ramen stand uses armor stands underground to create these truly authentic seats. I just love this design. As far as seating goes in Minecraft, there really is not many options. However, this seat completely breaks the rules. By using blocks like slabs, stairs, iron trapdoors, and a minecart, you can make this amazing modern chair design. And the best part is, it actually works. There is nothing better than a nice relaxing bath after an immensely stressful day, and now you can have one of these in your house. All you have to do is use stairs, slabs, some water, and a minecart, and you can create this relaxing looking bath. Time to kick back. Wow, too hot! I love building houses with a nice medieval aesthetic, and one thing every medieval house needs is a well. And thanks to this rule-breaking Minecraft build, you can create the illusion of a bucket going into a well. This is very satisfying to look at. Honey blocks have a crazy feature barely anybody knows about. They're actually just a little bit smaller than a normal block, meaning you can shoot arrows between them. Thank me later, fortress builders. Dolphins are one of the smartest animals in the world, and it's no different in Minecraft. If you give a dolphin enough fish, it'll actually begin to swim to the nearest underwater chest as thank you for feeding it. Endermen are already one of the most creepy and powerful mobs in the game. I absolutely didn't need another buff to make them even stronger, but they got exactly that. Usually an Enderman will just teleport out of the way of an arrow or other projectile. But if they've got nowhere to teleport to, the arrow will just bounce off like it's nothing. Cheaters. Luckily, there is a way to make Enderman completely powerless. Yeah, sort of. Sure, you can just place water at your feet, but that's old news. If you accidentally trigger an Enderman by looking into its eyes, don't look away. For some reason, Enderman won't move at all as long as you hold eye contact. And what do you do from here? Good question. Moving on, we have dogs in Minecraft, and we have cats. But we, for some reason, do not have the third most popular pet, fish. Now, I know, we do have fish, but we do not have the ability to tame fish. Sure, you can trap them in a 1x1 aquarium, but that does not feel the same as having dogs or cats within the game. Mojang, please add a fish that I can tame. Jungles feel a little bit lacking in the mob department, as it only has 2 native mobs to the jungle, being the panda and the parrot. However,
This is because Mojang refuses to add this next mob into the game. Monkeys would have made a very interesting addition to Minecraft. They would be able to swing from branch to branch and would most likely have come with a banana item in order to tame them. I can understand why monkeys aren't in the game though, as this sounds like a coding nightmare. For a long time, caves were boring until Minecraft introduced the Caves and Cliffs update, but to me at least, caves have once again become a bit dull. However, I believe that this next mob could change that. This is the Ghost Miner, a mob that Minecraft actually considered adding for quite a while into the game. These ghost miners would have been found underground and could have brought you to secret loot, dungeons, or even ancient cities, meaning this would have been arguably the most useful passive mob in existence. They could have also added a corrupted version for the ancient cities that were hostile. Since it did not make footsteps, it wouldn't have alerted the warden, but you attacking it could have. This spooky fact runs a chill down my spine, because if you play the music discs 5, 11, and 13, after 5, 11, and 13 seconds, they combine to play the sounds of a survivor's terrifying story. This cool trick lets you explode TNT underwater. If you put a sand block on top and then ignite the TNT, the block will fall into it, making sure the water doesn't stop the explosion. Have you ever been sitting watching YouTube in your bed at 2 a.m. and suddenly the brightness on your phone screen has gone up? A rejected idea for Minecraft was to have an opposite potion to the darkness effect. A brightness effect where the screen would become so bright that you could not see anything, and you essentially became sunblind. I can see why this one was rejected as, wow, this is bright. Careful, don't make a sound. Achoo! Oh no! Run away! I think I got away. I wish I had this next rejected Minecraft idea. The Potion of Silence, which was as you would expect, makes you silent. Swift Sneak is a very useful enchantment, but sometimes I do not want to break my finger holding down the crouch key. If I had this potion, I could run straight by this warden and he would not even flinch. Mods have not had many updates since their release besides new or retextured versions popping up here and there. There was, however, originally a plan for an iron boat, but I think we can see why this one was rejected. The boat probably would not work very well. I want a pet! No, I'm not after a cat. Parrots are kind of boring. Dogs? Ew! Wait, I haven't seen this one before. Yes, you heard it here. Originally, dolphins were meant to be tameable and rideable like an underwater horse. Why this idea was scrapped is beyond me. Please, Minecraft, give me a mob I can ride underwater. Ever seen this before? Well, if you're from the future, then maybe. Because Mojang added bamboo blocks in the recent 1.20 snapshots, having both bamboo and stripped bamboo as separate blocks. I like saying bamboo. Bamboo, bamboo. The old bamboo block required 4 bamboo to craft, while the new one needs 9. This makes them pretty expensive, but at least your house will look cool. If you have a pet axolotl and don't have a name tag to make him your pet, you can scoop him up with a bucket and literally put him into an anvil. But don't worry, we aren't gonna murder him. If you're in a village raid but don't manage to kill all the raiders, that's a cool way to easily find them. If you ring the village bell and wait a few seconds, all remaining raiders within a 40-block radius will all light up with a glowing effect. This one is already semi-known, but hey, your boy's gotta eat. Did you know not all skeletons hold the bow in the same hand? In fact, 11% of the skeletons are left-handed, while 89% are right-handed. Mojang paid close attention to detail here, as this is the exact proportional percent in real life. Ah! The ground is alive! Well, it looks like it anyways. Your trick is that the black blocks are higher up from the ground than the pink underlay, and are a few blocks tall. The perspective changes as you move, and glimpses of the pink can be seen peeking out from a flash of color. It's so distracting, you'll forget about all your problems. This house holds a massive secret. It looks like an ordinary basic Minecraft home, until you get a little closer and see that it's actually absolutely enormous! Each pixel is its own individual block, placed one by hand, until a whole block is created. Then it's copy and pasted to craft this house. Make your move speed extra fast to give the impression that this is a normal size house and you fly into it! Hopefully no giants live here. Oh god! Morning. A stained glass block with a trapdoor on top and a tripwire hook on the front looks just like a lemonade dispenser. Build a lemonade stand around that, with plant pots for cups to look super convincing.
Oh, selling lemonade on my turf, are ya? Nobody sells on Big J's turf!
I'm bouncing on a real working trampoline. It's standing on wooden fence posts, has a ladder up to the bouncy slime blocks covered with carpet, and surrounded in colorful blocks for a frame. The net around the trampoline is made using chains and rods to create structure just like a real trampoline. Now, check
Check how high I could jump!
This is the smallest Minecraft house with everything you could need. The walls are trapdoors, there's a furnace and crafting table in the ground, and a bed on top of them. 2 blocks deep, you put some water with a single block farm on top. There's a chest in the ground and a loom beside that. With trapdoors on top, you have a single block of space to crawl around in and access everything.
No! My entire home is gone!
Threaten real-life violence against a server owner. That's a crime in Minecraft and in real life that will definitely get you banned. Trust me, I would know. People say you should plant a tree to save the planet, so why not plant as many trees as you can? Flood the place with saplings on every block of dirt and bone meal them to make a mega forest so thick you have to bring out the axes just to walk to the farm. Create chaos with a witch spawner. Build this village breeding station, and when the children are born, they'll be funneled down under a lightning rod. Once lightning strikes, they'll all be turned into witches to be let loose on the server, and it will keep happening forever! Or at least until you get banned and your spawner is destroyed. Invite death squads! If you can get new people onto the server, bring the biggest, baddest gamers you know as death squads against your enemies. If anyone crosses you, bring your cronies for a beatdown until they get fed up and ban you. Go nuke the server using slime blocks, pistons, detectors, and a minecart. Build a flying TNT duplicator just like this one and watch it trundle ominously over the server, dropping bombs with every step. Leave no player alive and no building left standing! Does your friend have one of those ugly gravel paths around their house? Well, to punish them for not using this build hack from my last video, try this. Tear up their gravel path and dig out a pit below. Then add a bunch of signs placed like this that'll hold the gravel up. All you need now is a piston that would remove this block. And as soon as you step on this pressure plate, it all falls down! I'd also recommend filling the pit with cobwebs above some lava to really make them think about what they've done. Spawn trapping is one of the most annoying things to do to someone in any game, and luckily, it's super simple to do in Minecraft. All you need to do is remove all the blocks around someone's bed and place this obsidian chamber right next to it instead. Whenever they respawn, they'll be trapped in here without tools and forced to punch their way out. There are tons of ways to mess with AFK players in Minecraft that are way more fun than just pushing them into lava. For example, one of my personal favorites is to instead push them into a composter that's filled up to about here, and then close a trapdoor on top of them. For one, it looks hilarious, but it'll also be super funny to watch your friend try to figure out why they can't open the trapdoor. And when all is said and done, all they've got to do is break the composter. Help! If you want to cause a more permanent problem for your friend though, this one might be for you. Using this setup of slime blocks and redstone, you can create a rocket that'll send your friend all the way up to the top of the world. Fortune is probably the most valuable enchantment in the entire game. It duplicates diamonds for God's sake! But did you know there's another use for it that makes it even more overpowered? If you enchant a hoe or any other tool with Fortune 3, you'll get way more crops when you harvest your farms. Instead of an average of about 4 carrots per crop, you'll get about 5.5 with Fortune, as well as tons more seeds from wheat. Coal can smelt 8 items each, but a coal block made out of just 9 coal can smelt 80. That's... I don't even know. 1 free coal per block. That means if you've got an auto smelter set up, it's almost always worth it to use coal blocks instead, as long as you make sure that what you're smelting is divisible by 80 so you don't waste any blocks. Night vision is one of the most useful enchantments in the game, but use this incorrectly and you'll be getting yourself into a fever dream. Oddly enough, looking at the horizon with this effect active makes it so that the entire sky flashes with different colors. Would you believe me if I told you Minecraft came out 17 years before its release in 2011? I'm talking about Minecraft 3D that was released April 1st, 1994. If you haven't figured it out already, this was an April Fool's joke by Mojang, but I have to say, it looks amazing! Did you know it's possible to burn yourself to death underwater? I don't know why you'd want to do this, but just place a cauldron filled with lava and sit inside.
Mallow, how did you even find out about this?
Hey, listen here, stop asking so many questions. Nether stars are incredibly important for crafting beacons, but there's something about these objects that you never knew. These are in fact explosion-proof, and this makes sense because they need to survive the wither's death. But that's not the best part. They are still not immune to lava, cacti, and anvils. Wait, hold up! A nether star can survive TNT, but not my diamonds? No matter how high they fall from, cats will never take full damage. You can send them all the way from build limit to bedrock, and they'll walk away like nothing happened. Conversely, dogs do take damage. And anvil damage! It's just so beautiful. Zombified piglins are terrifying to fight in the nether, but if you manage to get a weapon powerful enough to kill them in one hit, they won't get mad, and you can take them out one by one. Flower forests are one of the prettiest biomes in the game, and one of the easiest places to farm all the different dyes too. But strangely, the flowers don't actually generate in random places. Each area in this biome can only spawn a specific flower, which means you can map it out using bone meal to create a really cool effect. Bees in Minecraft actually work really similar to how they do in real life. When they sting you, they don't just lose their stinger and end up dying shortly after. They actually leave it inside you. It's easiest to see when you turn invisible and when are they adding tweezers to the game? Just a glance of a creeper in the corner of your eye is enough to send shivers down any Minecraft spine. But when they look like this, suddenly they're not scary.
This is the nerd creeper.
Another April Fool's mob, but one I really wish stayed longer. They were exactly the same as regular creepers, but when you killed them, they dropped this weird glitchy 3D item instead of gunpowder. This didn't do much at all, but if you ate it, it displayed an image of Minecraft's developers.
Nerd creepers.
Never spawned naturally. But if you typed NERD in chat, one would appear right in front of you. Wait, no, that's too close! Did you know there are mobs you can only spawn in with cheats? The biggest of these has to be the giant, clocking in at 12 blocks tall. These things dwarf most people's mansions. If you spawn them in now, they don't do anything. But back in the 1.7 update, these things could run round and deal damage to you. 13 hearts to be precise, and that's on easy mode. What's even crazier is that the code says these things technically can still spawn. They just require impossible conditions, like having bright and dark light at the same time.
So, little Timmy, that's why you shouldn't be scared of the dark. Oh my goodness!
If you're pro, you'll know all about skeleton horses, which are a super rare and powerful type of horse. But alongside these, there's actually an unused zombie horse mob in the game too. They can be summoned with commands just the same as giants, but unlike their undead brothers, they actually move without being tamed. And they're pretty cool too. You can ride them just the same as normal horses, and they even regenerate health over time. They're so OP that harming potions actually heal them. This means they're the only totally passive undead mob in the game. Everyone loves bunnies. They're cute, fluffy, and painful. This is the killer bunny, and you've got to be wary of this one. It's a pure white rabbit with evil intentions. If you get hit within 16 blocks of one, it'll lock on and lunge straight at you, dealing 4 hearts of damage. And if these bunnies can't find a player, they'll search for foxes and wolves to attack instead. Thankfully, these guys aren't naturally spawning and only work with commands. Art imitates life, I suppose. No matter how many are nearby or how close they're watching you, if you one-shot a zombified piglin using something like a Smite 5 sword, other piglins won't get mad at you. Just make sure you don't have sweeping edge on too. Walls don't have much of a use other than, being walls. And to be fair, nobody even really uses them for that either. Either way, they actually have a use in redstone. With a setup like this, you can place a single wall right here to instantly send a signal hundreds of blocks down. I know that doesn't sound that insane, but I know like 1% of you guys are freaking out right now. I like to call this trick the drip leaf drop. A big drip leaf creates a platform that can hold you up, but it folds soon after. Grow one above a big pit and lead your friend over it. You'll trigger the fold, and they'll fall right in. Hey! If your friend is online and you can access a house, play a really weird trick by building an upside-down version of their house on top of their regular house. It's a bizarre, mind-bending monument that will take time to remove, if they even want to. If your friend is a pet dog, a real sadistic trick is to replace it with your own. Hide their dog and name your own dog the same name. Then watch as your friend struggles, wondering why it won't listen to them anymore. You can even hit your friend and watch as they run screaming from the dog they thought was their best friend. Whenever you're building a hedge in your world, try placing podzol beneath the leaves. This both acts like a shadow, but also kind of looks like leaf litter or mulch beneath the hedge. I really like the word mulch, by the way. Mulch. Wait, what are we doing? Oh yeah, build hacks. Did you know you can place nether plants like crimson fungus or warped roots outside of the nether? What's really weird is that you can only place them on grass or dirt, not cobblestone. This is super weird to me because netherrack and cobble seem most similar to me. But I guess now we know netherrack is just like hard dirt. What? My head hurts. If you've got a cramped house like this one and you're trying to figure out where to put the ladder, try placing a line of trapdoors like this and putting the ladders on them. Alternatively, if you're uncreative, try using the debug stick to create floating ladders that take up even less space. Now that's ingenuity. Here's a cool way to make an armor stand look like it's holding a sword. Start by placing an end rod with a candle on top, then pushing an armor stand into it from behind. Then put some armor on it and push 2 blocks down behind it, and you have your very own knight in shining armor. And since you're obviously building a sick castle if you make this, you can make awesome ornate carpets using a combination of shulker boxes and glazed terracotta. Hey, I don't want to hear anything about how expensive shulkers are. You own a castle! As long as the colors are similar, it really doesn't matter how you lay out carpet. It'll look cool either way. If you thought phantoms were annoying in Java Edition, just wait for this next feature exclusive to Bedrock Edition. In both versions of Minecraft, the phantoms do different amounts of damage. In Bedrock, the phantom will do 2 hearts of damage on easy, 3 hearts on normal, and 4.5 hearts on hard mode. Now compare this to the Java Edition where they do 1.5 hearts on hard mode, and you will realize that the Bedrock Edition makes these annoying flying bugs even more irritating. Maybe I should sleep before I leave. I'm terrified of these things. I love building automatic farms in Minecraft. However, one crop you cannot easily farm in Java Edition is sugarcane. There is no way you can grow sugarcane manually. However, Bedrock Edition gave players the ability to bone meal sugarcane, meaning you can easily farm a lot of sugar. This has made farming sugarcane so much easier. Have you ever found a horse that you love and are desperate to kit it out with some armor, but you look everywhere for it and cannot find any? Well, in Bedrock Edition, you can actually craft leather horse armor. Again, another immensely useful feature that really should be in both versions. Ah, horsey! This item was never supposed to exist! The crystallized honey was accidentally added in snapshot 19W34A and was removed almost instantly in 19W42A. Some say it was supposed to be a food source, but we'll never know now because it was taken away! Luckily, I have the last remaining piece of honey from all those years ago. Maybe I shouldn't have left it out for years. Did you know at one point Steve was removed from Minecraft? Well, sort of. You see, these strange creatures look like a normal player, but behind the eyes, there's a hollow nothingness. They walk in circles, jump randomly, and pass through water like it's nothing at all. What do they want? Have they come to replace me? At least now I won't be so lonely. Skeletons have been in the game for well over a decade, but I bet you didn't notice how they've been holding their bow. It turns out that skeletons have an 11% chance of being left-handed and holding their bow in that left hand. This only applies to Java Edition though, as mobs in the Bedrock Edition cannot be left-handed. Mojang love putting subtle details into their game, and the fisherman actually has a reference to Minecraft history. The texture on the fisherman has a fish on it, but it's not just any fish. It's the texture for raw fish that was removed from the game years ago! People use torches and levers all over the place, but I bet you never notice that they're actually the same thing. They use the same texture and are the same shape. It's just the tip that's colored differently. I definitely can't unsee that. Here's something you probably have missed your entire time playing. Sea lanterns are actually animated! If you look closely, the center of the lantern actually swells with light spreading outwards. It's so subtle that some colorblind people can't see it at all. I've finally finished building my desk and it's time to sit back and get some work done. Oh wait, I forgot to build the chair. Well, thanks to this next build hack, I can build myself a lovely looking gaming chair for my desk. By using an iron bar, some trapdoors, a carpet, and a unique banner, you can make this amazing looking gaming chair. It is a little bit solid though, not very comfortable. 4 out of 10. I need a way to intimidate all of my enemies before they come anywhere near my base. I know. I will build a giant bear to scare away all of my enemies. Oh no, I built a giant teddy bear. Well, this build hack will be immensely useful if you want a house that is both cuddly and aesthetically pleasing. Oh, what a cute house. I don't know about you guys, but I think the hardest thing to build in Minecraft is a kitchen. Well, no more! As this build hack makes an amazing looking kitchen entirely in vanilla Minecraft. And the best part is, it is entirely functional, with multiple blocks with multiple different usages. Shoot enemies from the safety of a bunker by using dirt paths. They're actually 1 pixel shorter than regular blocks, so if you stand behind one and have a block above your head, you can see a slight gap between them, and can even shoot arrows through the gap. This other super hack can turn your regular vines into fruit-bearing plant life. Just put redstone ore behind the vines, and the color will shine through, giving a good breakup to all the green and brown. Put some berry bushes to fill out the space even more. And in case you don't have a big enough iron supply to waste on literally blowing up, there's a cheaper alternative in placing TNT on top of a half slab instead. For some reason, this also reduces the blast radius significantly, but unfortunately, you still take quite a lot of damage. Are you one of those weirdos that prefers using donkeys over horses for the extra storage space? First of all, why are you using horses in the first place? It's 2023, man, get elytra! But secondly, llamas are a way better option. They can have up to 15 inventory slots and form groups of 10 that follow each other around. Using shulker boxes, you can transport up to 4,000 stacks of blocks with you. That's this many blocks, more than you'd ever need. And if you need another reason to make the switch to llamas, check this out. While horses and donkeys just sink like rocks when you try to ride them in water, llamas can swim. You still can't control them or anything, thing, but if you need a fancy pool float or something, llamas work perfectly. Fireworks can be used for a bunch of things these days, but I bet you never thought of making a cannon with them. That's right, fireworks launched from dispensers actually do damage to mobs, meaning firework crossbows are out, and this is the new best way to take out mobs. The villagers are hiding a secret. They're actually super fast. Don't believe me? Well, it only happens during nightfall when they're under attack. Their top speed is actually faster than a player sprinting. I didn't know Usain Bolt was white. Mojang put a secret that's hiding in plain sight. See? This end crystal actually has a secret message written on it. It's the word Mojang. It's a fact that game updates can reverse soul changes, but in early Minecraft development, this happened a lot. At one point, they stopped leaves disappearing when the trees were cut down, then changed it back to disappear, then stopped it again, and then again changed it to disappear. A cool secret your friends won't know is that while witches can fight each other, they might never win. Their healing potion is more than their damage, so you can put them in a glass box and set them up as a permanent display. Redstone can be used in two different ways. You are either a genius who can create a working computer in Minecraft, or you place a button next to a note block. This next rejected Minecraft idea would have brought an entirely different level to redstone engineering. The timer block would have given off a redstone pulse after the timer had reached 0. This would have been amazing for setting up traps and then messing with your friends. Minecraft's food solutions are kind of boring. The only food in the game you can actually place is a cake, and then eat it too. However, did you know that originally the pumpkin pie was intended to be a placeable block similar to the cake? It would have worked the same way as the cake, where you take a couple of slices at a time until your hunger is full. I am honestly not sure why Mojang never implemented this. Step right up, come and try for your prize. We have iron horse armor, diamond horse armor, gold horse armor, and a regular boring saddle. Well, those prizes hardly seem fun. I wish there was a different type of saddle. Well, originally there would have been. Before they decided to make horse armor, they were originally planned to be different saddle types. Instead, now we get the same regular boring saddle. The axolotl is probably the cutest animal in Minecraft. But did you know there's an axolotl so rare, just 1 in 1,200 axolotls spawn this way. The blue axolotl is the rarest mob in Minecraft. Would you look at that little guy? Huh, you thought I was gonna kill it for comedic effect? I'm totally above that. I lied! Sand or gravel count as entities when falling down, meaning dropping it into a portal will build a nice little sandcastle. Not only that, but you can do the same with lit TNT and even dripstone. If you hit a zombie piglin next to a nether portal in the overworld, an extra zombie piglin can spawn from the nether, even if one isn't nearby. So how does that work, Mojang? Care to explain yourself on that one? Your trident will always come back, as you have the loyalty enchantment. However, if your entire inventory is full while throwing it, it won't come back to you and will leave you forever. Or it will do whatever this is, which probably counts as some kind of assault. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. This spinning fan is actually not moving at all. It's a single still image made of spaced out black lines, and the spaced out bars in front of it only show some, while hiding the others. As the bars move, other lines are shown, creating an animation that looks like it's a spinning fan. It's an actual working cartoon in Minecraft. Take that, Disney! Hi! Can you see the illusion in these 3D letters? The illusion is that they're not 3D at all. It's flat. It's a trick of color where shading objects with a darker color makes it look like light isn't hitting it. It makes your brain think those darker parts are further back, blocked from the sun by the letters. It's an illusion of shape that can work on any image at all. That's how I trick my brain into thinking my girlfriend is real. I bet you've never seen a chicken coop more realistic than this. The chickens even lay eggs in real nests. Put water in a little pit with a wood slab in it. Add a picture frame with an egg attached, and then place a horn coral fan. The water keeps the coral alive and looking like a straw nest. Build a coop around it and fill it with chickens. Now that's realistic. Oh no, too real! Too real! I've frozen Steve in ice and won't let him go until I'm put in the Minecraft movie! Okay, it's not actually Steve. It's an armor stand with a full set of armor and Steve's head. Use pistons to push ice into Steve, encasing him completely. Now shh, the movie studio doesn't know it's fake. Put me in the Oh, I'm sorry, it's fake. I didn't mean it! Have you ever seen meat this big? This mangrove block is red on the inside. Put it above a campfire, connected with lightning rods to a stone fence so it looks like it's spit roasting. Add end rods to look like bones sticking out. Oh, it looks so delicious. I'm gonna take a bite. Ow! It tastes like wood! This super slim ladder can fit in any home. You can actually put the ladders on the side of a trapdoor, but this hack stacked them on top of each other all the way to the ceiling for an extra slim ladder. Just don't use the door when I'm on it, okay? Ah! This spooky hack lets you make a world full of dead trees and wilting grass. The tree trunks are made with fence posts, and the leaves are mangrove roots. The grass isn't grass, it's podzol. See? It's all fake! There's nothing dead here! Do your friends love jumping from high places into water? Replace the water with blue tinted glass. glass. From afar, it looks identical, and it's hilarious watching the server owner fall to their death because of it. Until you get banned, of course. To face new players with the curse of binding. If you put a dispenser and a pressure plate at world spawn, any new player will activate it when they spawn. Fill it with Pumpkin's curse with binding so they can't take it off. It's an awful welcome for new players that the server owner will despise. Most servers hate spam, and even Mojang have rules against it. But what if you just love Minecraft Story Mode a whole lot? Type out the whole script for Minecraft Story Mode into chat and see how long it takes for people to ban you for spamming. Ever noticed that light grey stained glass truly ruin your friendship? Try building this in someone's roof and add a hopper and dispenser to shoot out the eggs the chicken lays. Their house will be filled with baby chicks in no time, and they'll have no idea why. Every Minecraft player knows the pain of glass panes look exactly the same as an empty inventory slot. This means you can secretly fill somebody's inventory with them, or worse, fill all their chests with them. And if you name them all differently, they'll have to slowly remove every single piece individually. Speaking of chests, they're a perfect way to test the strength of your friendship. With a comparator, some pistons, and a diamond, you can test exactly how much you should be trusting your friends. One of the best parts about pranking somebody is being able to see their reaction when they realize what's happening, and nothing does that better than this setup made by Grian. Nobody can resist the satisfaction of punching out a huge tower of scaffolding, so build one up above somebody's house, but have it hold just a single block of lava like this. When your friend goes to break it and realizes what's happened, it's already too late, and you'll get to watch them scramble to try and stop it. Another of Grian's devious inventions is the boat bomb, and this one's even simpler. All you've got to do is craft a ton, and I mean a ton of boats, and chuck them on top of a hopper, and dispense them all out like this. As soon as an unsuspecting explorer comes along and tries to get in, yeah, I'll make sure they find this themselves, so you don't have to help clean it up. Speaking of bombs... I'm sorry! Did you know that TNT dropped into an end portal doesn't actually explode until you jump in yourself? It even keeps its fuse length, so if you drop it from around 70 blocks up, it'll instantly blow up whoever is unfortunate enough to head through next, along with all the valuable gear they were bringing too. Dripstone works too if you're not feeling that mean, but let's face it, you'd rather blow them up. Speaking of villagers, the best survival players know that they're actually the most overpowered thing in the game. If you find a librarian and destroy its workstation, you can place it down to repeatedly change its trades. And given that their first trade is usually an enchantment book, you can keep doing this until you find exactly the enchantment you want. You can even kill and cure it to get a perfect deal. Losing your base in Minecraft is a real problem. It can be super hard to keep track of in a literary infinite world, and coordinates can be really hard to remember. That's why it can be a great idea to not only craft a map, but also name a banner, place it down, and right-click it with the map. This will give you a permanent marker you can follow home that's way cheaper than a lodestone compass. Being able to place floating lava should be a war crime. However, by using 7 slime blocks, 5 sticky pistons, 4 redstone blocks, and 4 obsidian, you can set up this machine that lets you place floating lava blocks. The best part is, this isn't even limited to lava. You can do the same thing with water. Rails are one of the best things Mojang added to the game, but we can make them even better by simply putting a trapdoor below them, which makes it so they can float in midair. Pair this up with a contraption like the one shown to get minecarts with infinite momentum, and you can quite literally have the most illegal railway in the game. You should always have a hoe that is enchanted with Fortune 3 when farming, which will allow you to quite literally triple the rate at which you can get food. For example, you can get up to 9 melon slices for each melon block farmed. This enchantment is so broken. Bone meal is one of the most important resources you need in order to get rich fast, and in the Cherry Grove biome, you can get a huge amount of it in just a few minutes. To do so, quickly harvest all the pink petals you see, or you can be even faster and use a water bucket and place the water like this to get a huge flow. Give me all those petals! It's no secret that Mojang are sometimes a little lazy when it comes to textures, with bedrock just being an overly saturated stone, and endstone being an inverted version of cobblestone. But I bet none of you realize that the jungle log texture is just a rotated version of the oak log. Speaking of being overpowered though, did you know that creepers can climb ladders? I'm already terrified of getting ninja bombed by them in ravines. Why do I have to be scared of this now too? But creepers have been hiding another secret from us too. If they're affected by a potion effect from an arrow, or a potion, when they explode, they'll leave a lingering pool of that potion effect wherever they stood. What can you use this for? Don't ask questions! Moving on! But, unlike redstone bugs, Wandering Trader is an awesome idea for a mob. But because of how terrible their trades are, they're kind of useless. However, Minecraft Dungeons actually fix that by adding an extra type of merchant called the Luxury Merchant. This guy comes from a land far, far away and sells rare, valuable items that players haven't discovered yet. But it's not cheap. cheap. For certain trades, you even have to slay a certain number of mobs and mini-bosses. Nothing's ever free in this world. There's also the mystery merchant, who sells you loot boxes with random loot inside. But don't worry, these aren't like CSGO cases, and you can buy these with plain old emeralds. He gives you different types of gear based on what case you buy. So if you need a new sword and you're feeling lucky, you can take a chance to win a brand new enchanted diamond sword. Just don't get addicted. The Phantom, Glow Squid, and Alley were all added in mob votes. But I bet you didn't know the Panda was as well. That's right, it was actually added in a secret Chinese mob vote to celebrate the release of Minecraft China. Other contenders were crocodiles, monkeys, deer, and pink dolphins. Obviously, the panda is way cooler than the rest. But imagine monkeys in Minecraft. They might have given squid competition for goofiest mob. But then again, crocodiles would have made swamps and jungles way more dangerous. The best way to move villagers isn't to use minecarts or boats. It's actually just to use a bell. Villagers will all flock to a bed whenever a bell is rung. So if you remove all nearby beds and place just one wherever you want them to head to, they'll go straight there as soon as the bell is rung. Clever, isn't it? What's even smarter is this invisible elevator that uses wind. Crazy, right? You didn't see that. Okay, fine, it's not a wind elevator, but it's still really cool. If you place a bubble stream in a corner behind 2 honey blocks and then maps in item frames on the honey blocks, you'll create a hidden elevator that really does look like magic. This first trick is really strange. His inventory looks empty, but nothing is getting picked up. They're actually full with light gray stained glass panes. When your friend is AFK, flood them with panes and watch as they get totally confused while they're not picking anything up. Friends can be very trusting, leaving themselves AFK in your world. You could play this pretty unknown trick. Set down a compastor and fill it up, leaving just 3 pixels of space. Then push them in and close the door. They'll actually be trapped and can only escape by breaking the whole thing. If your friend does carpet, a wicked trick is to put magma blocks in the floor and cover it with matching carpet. Watch for your friend to come home and watch as they hop around, confused, as they take damage from their beloved carpet. We all know about chains, and I mentioned a way to make much bigger chains with grindstones in my last build hacks video. But if you need something a little smaller, try facing 2 sets of trapdoors into each other like this. To create a wooden chain, you can even change the color of. Buttons placed in invisible items on logs look suspiciously like bugs crawling all over it. Bugs that, by the way, you cannot eat. Do not, under any circumstances, ever eat the bugs. Ever! Speaking of bugs, in Bedrock Edition, you can place buttons on the top and bottom of fences, allowing for extra decoration. But in Java version, you can't do either. Honestly, I'm not sure if this is a bug or not, but it's still kind of annoying. Red and yellow candles make really good ketchup and mustard bottles for a diner or bar. And green candles are perfect replicas of beer. Wait, did someone say beer? It's kind of annoying Minecraft's water can only ever be 1 block wide, meaning you can't make small droplets or tiny streams very easily. However, blue glass panes work as a perfect substitute for cases like this. The same goes for ice. How do we have ice and dripstone but no icicles? Well, maybe it's because Mojang knows that light blue glass panes do the job perfectly, but come on, I can't take out zombies with them, so what's even the point? Taming ocelots removes this weakness, just the same as taming a wolf removes theirs. And this one is the strangest so far. For some reason, wolves are super scared of llamas and will run away the seconds they get anywhere near them. I wonder why they hate them so much. Tamed wolves, however, are super chill with llamas until their human decides otherwise. But this is the same with every other mob in the game, except for creepers. So I guess this makes them weak to creepers? The only other thing dogs have to worry about is me! Despite being possibly the most peaceful mob in the game, sheep have their own enemies too. Wild wolves will attack any nearby sheep they can find. They don't even fight back, the poor things. Frogs! Look at them! All cute and tan. Oh, but I want a rare green frog. To get them green, you actually have to become their dad. Grab a tadpole in a bucket, take it to a cool biome, and put them in a pool and watch them grow up green. Oh, and don't let the pool freeze over. My babies! Speaking of rare water creatures, axolotls come in many colors, but one you'll never see in the wild is the legendary blue axolotl. This super rare creature can only be found through breeding, and has a 1 in 1,200 chance of spawning, so you better have plenty of tropical fish to feed them. But how about the rarest ore in the game? Deep Slate Emerald ore is actually very hard to find, with a 0.15% chance to regenerate. It only appears in mountains and windswept hills, and only at depths that both emeralds and deep slate appear. Be sure to mine them with a silk touch pick so you can show your friends a super rare find. Pink sheep are one of the rarest mobs to exist in the game, with a spawn rate of 0.164%. But most people have still managed to discover these easily. Only true OGs know about the baby pink sheep, which is 20 times as rare with a spawn rate of 0.0082%. 100%. Yeah, if you manage to find this, you deserve infinite emeralds. If you manage to get the same seed twice in Minecraft, you should go be doing something else with your life because you're pretty lucky. Actually, pretty is the worst way to describe it since it is mathematically impossible at a chance of 1 in 7.9 times 10 more than 28. How could this many zeros even exist? You're a massive noob if you thought tall grass was a common block. It's actually as rare as a heart of the sea. You just don't realize it. This is because neither shears nor silk touch works on tall grass, and you can only obtain them through chests in savannah villages. The worst part is that you can find one of these in 2.2 chests. So to fill a double chest, you'll have to scavenge 7,600 villages. Is this a mistake or a horrible decision? Huh, Mojang? The bad decisions don't end there though. Large ferns which have a 3% chance to spawn on a block are only found in spruce villages, spawning only 18.6% of the time. If you're still using oak, acacia, or wood, you're a massive noob. Use bamboo instead. This is because bamboo is wood but on steroids. How, you may ask? Well, bamboo grows super fast, and the best part, you can farm these almost instantly with just a stone sword. Mahaha! All the bamboo is mine. Wait, maybe I should just buy wood from a villager instead. There are quite literally thousands of duplication glitches in Minecraft, but one of these is beyond overpowered. All you have to do is place fences below an end portal and drop a gravity block from 3 blocks above the portal. Unfortunately though, Mojang hates us having fun since this only existed in Java 1.19. Wait, what if I do this with... Ah! Let's be honest though, one of the best ways to protect your base is to just hide it really well. So next time you're feeling too lazy to set up tons of traps on your turf, try heading to a snowy biome and hiding it like this. Pick a random snow-covered block and place a few scaffolding below it. Then dig 2 holes either side, add a bubble elevator in one, and now you have an invisible base that you can even crouch around in to hide your name tag. That's if you can remember where you put it, which, let's be honest, I can't. Mobs have got way better at pathfinding compared to how they used to be, but they still have some issues. For some reason, they still don't see carpets as blocks. So if you fill a pit like this with them, you're totally protected from mobs. 2 tall flowers like sunflowers and roses work for this too. If you're like me and can never remember where you put your secret entrances, try this out. Shulker boxes are a great way to sort your items. But if I jump on top of this one and open it, suddenly I'm in my second secret base. For some reason, you can fall through shulker boxes if there's a block above your head, allowing for a perfect entrance that you can even color code and use as storage. Everyone knows zombies love turtle eggs, or hate them, I guess. But you can actually use this to protect your base. With just a single turtle egg and a trapdoor, you can create this super simple zombie trap that will kill every zombie nearby for you for almost no cost. If you place perfectly white maps on sea lanterns or glowstone, you can make a super trippy infinite room. Most people use this to troll their friends, but honestly, I think it makes a super cool house. Just try not to get a headache smacking into the walls. You can use a similar trick to make custom wallpaper for your house. Depending on your dedication, you can make custom blocks, simple patterns, or super ornate drawings rivaled only by glazed terracotta, whatever that's supposed to be. Using a hoe or a shovel on dirt will send a pulse to a hidden observer, letting you create wild hidden bases like the one Mr. Insane made in his world. This does seem like a lot of effort for a single-player world though. What are you hiding it from? Herobrine? Something slightly more practical is this instant base idea that uses nothing but saplings. At the start of your world, put some oak saplings down where you want the walls. Once you're back from mining or looking for food, your house will have literally built itself. Walking over or punching redstone or activates observers, meaning you can create hidden cave bases really easily, or even hide some under a carpet or snow for a hidden entrance that'll probably just end up getting activated by a chicken or something. For something a little more secure, try hiding a hopper beneath a block and having a special item filter that only opens with a block named a certain way. Hoppers work under snow, slabs, soul sand, or even path blocks, but you can take it one step further by using a hopper minecart instead, as it'll pick up items through literally any block in the game. Hoppers can take items through path blocks because they're just a little smaller than a full block. We can take advantage of this in another way by hiding a lever under a tree next to some dirt and using a shovel or hoe to reveal it. Piglins now can drop their skulls just like zombies and skeletons, and they're way cooler than any other mob head too. The method to get to them is still blowing them up with a charged creeper, except a little harder as you can't actually bring piglins to the overworld without them turning into zombies. I'd say it's worth it though, as you can put one on your head and his ears will actually flap while you walk around. Mob heads also got another really cool use I don't think anyone was expecting. If you place one on top of a note block, the block will play a random sound that mob makes. And yes, this works with redstone, so you've got a new way to drive your friends insane! Ever thought it's annoying that you can only ride a few of the mobs in Minecraft? Well, fear not! The /ride command that's just been added lets you spawn in and ride on literally any mob you want. Ew, except for that. Don't do that. One of the best features Mojang is adding in 1.20 is the new armor trims. You can find pattern templates in chests all over our world. world, and then apply them with different colors on our armor. They're found in places like bastions and woodland mansions, but they're also dropped by the Elder Guardian. They're pretty rare, but luckily you can use diamonds to duplicate, so you've got enough for all of your armor. Mojang also decided that netherite was somehow too easy to obtain, and added a netherite upgrade template, which you need to use every time you upgrade a tool or piece of armor. And yes, you need a new one every time, meaning that's an extra 7 diamonds every time you upgrade something. Please subscribe so I can afford this. Creepers are one of the oldest mobs in the game, and they haven't got any less terrifying. In fact, in one of the 1.20 snapshots, they somehow got even scarier. Somehow their code got messed up and they wouldn't make a noise or even flash before they blew up, meaning they could just sneak up and explode before you even knew they were there. Maps are one of the most annoying things to craft in Minecraft Java Edition. No one really needs them for anything, and that's why it is annoying when you need a compass to make them. So imagine my surprise when I found out that Bedrock Edition has a far better way of making maps. By using a cartography table, you can actually craft empty maps using only a single piece of paper. Now I can have infinite maps! Cakes are my favorite food in Minecraft. However, I can never carry that many of them because they do not stack like any other food in the game. But in Bedrock, cakes are actually stackable. I can finally carry around 2,304 cakes in my inventory. You never know when you might be a bit peckish. Minecraft used to spawn you with every item in the game. You would start in a place called Indev House, made of mossy cobblestone, full of chests with every block and item in the game, free to use at your leisure. But once the survival testing began, humanity was cast out into the cold and the dark. I'm sorry, Mojang, what did we do to deserve this? Aside from writing swear words out of diamond blocks. Potion making used to be easy! Just fill a cauldron with water, slap in some ingredients, and scoop out a bunch with a bottle. Voila! Instant potions ready to use. Now we have to use a brewing stand with its blaze powder and its spiral tubes. Why can't I brew potions like a wicked witch in a hut, cursing children with invisibility? Instead I have to act like a hipster, brewing homebrew drinks that nobody wants! Did you know that the sun and moon are actually always round? They rotate around the earth as you'd expect, but the color of the sky actually isn't tied to them. So if you look down below the world while it's night, you'll see the sun still shining in the dark. This is most obvious when you play a mod like Skyblock. This weird detail has been staring you in the face for years! What's wrong with this image? The helmet! For as long as helmets have been in the game, they have had this icon in your inventory. But when you wear them, they look completely different. Bedrooms in Minecraft are boring. They all just have a bed, maybe 2 with some bookcases either side. However, thanks to this amazing bed build hack, you can make a bed that is far nicer to look at, and that is far more comfortable too. Why we did not have cars in Minecraft is completely beyond me. They would be by far the best method of transportation in the game. However, regardless of them not existing in the world of Minecraft, you can still bring your world to life with these car builds. Now, which one is the fastest? Oh, I cannot wait for summer. I wish it could be summer all year round because I love barbecue food. But thanks to Minecraft, I can experience the brilliance of barbecue all year round by building this amazing looking grill. It smells delicious. I'm so sorry. A secret trick you can use to make an atmospheric room is to let it be dark and only light up using redstone ore. They can act as a light, but only when activated, which includes stepping on them. It can light up a dark pathway in style. Everyone wants a secret underwater base, but will often forget where it is. Well, how about this genius hack that uses a magma bubble column? It'll drag you down to the right spot to activate a hidden door or redstone contraption, letting you into your own personal underwater homes by walking up and biting them. They also sneak up and pounce on them by jumping super high into the air. What's crazier is that if they land on snow, they'll actually get stuck and shake around trying to free themselves. I swear these guys have been in the game for ages and I've never seen this. I must be an idiot, right? Slime blocks, honey blocks, and hay bales can all be used to reduce fall damage when using a drop chute, but they all have drawbacks. Instead, put a waterlogged chest at the bottom. You won't take any fall damage, you don't bounce, and it doesn't slow you down. Did you know that spiders never touch the ground? That's because of how the model is made. Even though it's on the floor, the legs never actually reach the block below it. A secret, dirty little trick you can do is build an end portal above your friend's bed. So when they respawn, they'll instantly teleport to the end and will have to live there until the bed or the portal is broken. The blue axolotl is the rarest version of that mob in Minecraft, but the announcement for Caves and Cliffs Part 1 shows off the green axolotl. This was an early version of the axolotl that never made it into the release game, making it even rarer than the blue one. The heart of the sea is this blue orb, but it holds a secret. When fully activated as a conduit, it, the heart opens, showing a staring orange eye. This ancient fact is from even before Minecraft was made. It turns out the original apple sprite in Minecraft is from a previous game made by Notch, called Legend of the Chambered. Slabs are one of the most useful blocks in Minecraft for building a roof. Seriously, I don't ever use them for anything. But what if I told you that at one point you could have been able to use slabs as a wall? Well, originally Mojang planned on adding in vertical slabs, but thought people would use them as a wall, so instead they created the wall block. Right, I can definitely find the stronghold now. Let me just throw this ender away. Wait, where did it go? Oh, it is trapped down there. Time to mine for it, I guess. How did I not find it? I just wish the ender eye cleared the blocks in its path. Well, at one point, this is an idea that Mojang brought to the table. However, they were concerned this ruined the adventure aspect of finding a stronghold, so they removed it. Ah, there it is. This is a straight redstone trail. Pretty simple, right? Well, this is a straight line of redstone going up. Why is this so complicated? Well, originally it wasn't supposed to be. Mojang actually rejected the idea to have redstone be vertical as well as horizontal. Imagine all the amazing elevator builds and more I could make if they had not ruined this for me. When copper was revealed to the community, we all jumped with joy to finally get a new type of armor and new tools. And all we got was a weird brown rod. What does this even do now? Ow! 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 Thanks, Notch. Wasn't wearing an entire suit of armor. Dad! Wait, how did this happen? Originally, copper armor was meant to be attainable, until Mojang realized having the lightning rod be made of the same material as armor was perhaps a bit dangerous. It is so unfair. This poor group of pillagers are trying desperately to take on this village, but somehow they have 100 iron golems defending their base. Unfortunately for these pillagers, this rejected idea would have given them their own version of the iron golem, one that was instead meant to attack the villagers instead of defending them. Although they do have the Ravager now, so I think they win actually. Want an easy way to find netherite? Try this out. All you need is a fire resistance potion, a few blocks, and a grindstone. After jumping into the lava, swim upwards to see through the entire thing. And ta-da! Enjoy your ban. If you stack minecarts on a singular rail, you can create a nuclear bomb! The minecarts will glitch out and move on their own. Try getting rid of the rails? Well, the minecarts don't care! In fact, it'll keep on going and blow up an entire village if it wants. What a rebel. While night vision is usually very useful, if you splash yourself with a night vision potion in the end, everything will instantly turn pink. Thanks, guys. That helped a lot. Well done. These lines are totally straight. No curves or bends at all, but you can definitely see the curves, right? The contrast of black and white makes it look like the lines are bent according to the direction the black sections are pointing to. Curse my eyes. I knew I shouldn't trust them ever since I saw my dad tell me he's proud of me. It turned out to be an old homeless man with dementia. I've got the biggest crafting table ever in Minecraft! It's literally 4 times bigger than a normal table. At least from this angle it is. Because the square on the floor gives you a frame of reference for how big things are. So if you put a crafting table in the right position in the air in front of that grid, it will line up with the squares and look like it's actually on the ground. I'm so proud of making this illusion. It's made me feel 20 feet tall. Rah! Bow before me, tiny villagers! Make sea mines to protect yourself from the drown. Just use a waxed copper block, lightning rods, and a chain to the sea floor, and your mine is complete. They don't actually work though, so maybe I should have brought a sword. Have you ever run away from an army of mobs and gotten completely lost? These handy signs can point you right where you need to go. They're made using a picture frame with stairs held in it. You turn the stairs to point where you need it, then put a sign on top and right where the sign is pointing. This doesn't help me though, because I don't know where I am! I've found the legendary sword in the stone, Excalibur! Just dispense an armor stand, build stone above it, and put a lightning rod on that. Use a piston to push it down twice into the stand. And now the rod and stand are sticking out of the rock like a sword. Now if I pull it out, I shall be king of Minecraft! You can make working cannons. This hack is built on a wooden frame like a real cannon. It has a stone body leading up to a dispenser and observer. Fill it with fire charges and you can defend the castle with fire! I'm the real king of Minecraft! Ever wanted to play soccer in Minecraft? Make goalposts with quartz and make the net with spider webs. And you can make this even better by using a command to import a soccer ball using a Minecraft head. Unfortunately, you can't kick this ball. This game is gonna take a while. Mess with their armor dispensers. Put hidden waterlogged blocks there and hidden lava, so when they try to interact with the dispenser, they're overwhelmed in lava that quickly turns into obsidian. They won't have a diamond pickaxe to break out either, since if they're looking for armor, they probably just spawned. Find a way to get the debug stick. It's a a special stick that can only be given with a command or robbed from a dead player. Get the debug stick and start clicking on everyone's beds. These beds are now marked as occupied and can't be used. To be a real menace, crash the server! It's easy with a lag machine, using this really simple redstone system that can be made as big as you want. The bigger you make it, the more it'll lag, until finally the whole server will crash! Instead of just moving an AFK player to an obsidian box, how about putting them into a water-filled box with regenerating walls? All you have to do is place lava on the outside of the box, place a conduit to stop them from drowning, and an Elder Guardian will make sure it takes them literally forever to mine out.
I know how to get out.
Hoppers literally have a built-in way to prank people. If you hate building huge farms, wait for someone else to do it for you, and place your own hopper beneath the ones that catch all the items. It'll filter you half their items, so you get some free stuff and they won't even notice. 1.20 added this awesome new feature that lets note blocks make mob sounds if you add the right head on top. This means you can set up a random redstone clock below someone's face and drive them insane with mob noises that they'll never be able to track down. Ender pearls are awesome for moving around and are even better in the nether. Here's a few tips to make you a pro at using them. If a pearl flies out of render distance, it won't teleport to you until you load it again. This means you can throw a pearl wherever you want, lower your render distance, and travel wherever you want. Then when you want to leave, raise it again, and you'll be teleported to wherever you threw the pearl. Pearls can also be used to easily traverse the harsh terrain of the nether, but it can sometimes be super risky if you're pearling over lava or a long fall. However, if you're pearling against a wall, position yourself like this on the edge of a block, and click as fast as you can while the pearl is flying. When the pearl hits, you'll instantly place a block below you, saving you from certain death and making you feel really cool. If I was to ask you what the most OP weapon in 1.8 PvP was, I bet the last thing you'd say is fishing rod. But you'd be right. Back then, the bobber actually dealt knockback just like a bow would, and you could activate it instantly. This meant you could use it to stop them sprinting and throw them into the air a little, letting you start combos super easily. There was also a glitch that literally let you do double damage using a fishing rod. If you hit them with someone with a rod and then immediately with a sword, they'll take way more damage from the sword hit. If your tools are running low on durability, you can combine two of the same type together to get a new tool with extra durability. It's only around 10%, but this can be the difference between killing a zombie or being stranded in hand-to-hand combat. There is only one thing worse than a zombie with a weapon. A zombie with two weapons! Or actually two pieces of armor in this case. Because of a bug in 1.8.9, all mobs that could wear armor began holding it in their hands instead. But the weirdest part is that they would only hold leggings and boots. Wait, so does that mean they don't have pants on? The skeleton just got a million times scarier. You've never paid attention to this, but there is something horribly wrong about buried treasure chests. For starters, they generate at chunk coordinates 9 on both the Z and X coordinates. However, the weirdest part is that you'll always find them facing towards the east. I'm never gonna be able to unsee this. The next time you decide to use Riptide without an Elytra, you might want to think again. This is because full damage stacks up for all the time that you're in the air, meaning no matter how softly you land, you're gonna be unaliving yourself in seconds. What item do you think is used in the most crafting recipes in the game? Wood? Maybe sticks? How about diamonds? Turns out it's actually iron ingots. They're used in 34 different recipes, which is more than anything else. Well, kind of. With the introduction of chiseled bookshelves in 1.20, wooden planks are now also used for 34 recipes in Java Edition. Riveting! What do you think the best item for fighting mobs is? Axes maybe? Some people prefer swords or bows, but you're all wrong! Boats are actually extremely powerful, as you can just chuck one down and completely immobilize any mob you want. They even stop Enderman from teleporting. You can name a chest and an anvil and the name will actually show up in the GUI. It even keeps its name when you break it, unlike any other block in the game. Talking about these votes, can you remember what the other options were in 2017? Alongside the Phantom, they showed us the terrifying Barnacle. Trust me, it's scarier than it sounds. It's supposed to be a huge sea monster found deep in the ocean. It would suck you underwater using its tentacles and wouldn't let you escape from its slimy grasp unless you managed to kill it. Which raises the question, why would you want to kill it? I just want to be held. There was also a mob called the Great Hunger, which is a pretty powerful name for a mob that looks like this. He's just a little lizard guy, and he didn't even attack you. Instead, it was supposed to be able to add or remove enchantments to your items. But as we know, the grindstone ended up doing that instead. Poor thing. Imagine being replaced by literally just a rock.
And then more recently, there was a copper golem.
Hey! Give me back my job! Anyway.
And then more recently, there was a copper golem. Smaller and less threatening than its iron brothers, but not without its uses. If it was added, it would have come with copper buttons and would have loved to press them, allowing for all sorts of automatic machines and contraptions. Stay away from me, Rock! I'm warning you. Evokers are a super powerful mob despite never hitting you themselves, but you can actually predict what spell they're gonna cast next. If he sends out white particles, it means he's spawning Vexes, and you can run and get some hits in. But if they're grey, it means he's summoning Fangs, and you should probably run! And before you head through the portal, make sure you bring some TNT, as you can use it to farm Ender Pearls really easily. Simply build a pillar above a small pit like this, and stare at as many Endermen as possible. Once you've trapped enough, place the TNT down and light it for near infinite pearls. You can even hold a looting sword while the TNT explodes to get even more. But what if you're like me, you struggle to even find the stronghold? Speedrunners have a solution. Once you're fairly sure you're nearby, try throwing just a single eye and placing a line of blocks until you think you've run past it. Then head to the side of a line and throw another eye. Follow the path until you hit the blocks from before, mine down, and you'll be right where the stronghold is. You know those huge annoying trees you sometimes get from oak saplings? If you place a single block 7 blocks above the sapling, they'll never grow again. You can also use this setup to only get the big ones if you're a psychopath. Did your friends store their enchantment books and ordered chests? Play a trick by replacing some of their high-level books with level 1 books. They all look the same, so they might not even notice until it's already too late. No matter how many chickens your friend clears away, more keep coming with this next trick. Stuff a bunch of chickens above a hopper. The eggs go into a dispenser with a repeater causing it to shoot the eggs out, spawning a bunch more chickens in the process. Hide this contraption in a tree near your friend's house and he'll be drowning in chicks. Want to trap your AFK friend in a little box? It's the first trick anyone tries, but if you waterlog the blocks, they become so much harder to break. And when they do, your friend will be drowning in water. And to make sure our little friend is as happy as can be, try making this advanced bird bath. Place an armor stand with a helmet on top of 3 layers of snow. Then push a floor block and the wall down from above and finish with a slab and some signs. Another right helmet might work better for some designs, but that's expensive. I think I'll just stick to leather. The most illegal item in all of vanilla Minecraft has to be the debug stick. You can only get it with commands, but it lets you do all sorts of crazy, weird things that literally feel like hacks. You can make strange beds with no pillows, white grass, cursed flower bushes, and even floating water. And pow! I'm outside your window. Parrots are actually a super useful thing to have around as they warn you of nearby enemies and don't get attacked by mobs. They are, however, deathly allergic to cookies, and feeding one to a parrot will kill it instantly. This is actually because in real life, parrots are allergic to chocolate, so keep that in mind, I guess. You probably already know that villagers are super weak to zombies. They don't even try to fight back. However, did you know that they're even more scared of pillagers? In fact, in a raid, villagers will actually start to sweat because they're so scared. Thank God they have a hero like me to protect them! Ever try to catch a bubble? This super rare block is actually mined straight out of the water. Using this machine that dispenses water as you mine, pushing the bubbles into the way of your Silk Touch pickaxe, you can get these bubbles as a block. You can even place them on dry land. This crazy glitch can be used for even more impossible blocks, like this block of water. If you try to mine the underwater plants with your Silk Touch pickaxe, you can end up with this. It looks like a pain, and when you set it down, it spills out like a bucket of water. Oh God, my head! Just kidding. This rare item is hard to get, but super fun. You need a creeper to get charged by lightning. Then, if they explode and kill other mobs around it, the mobs drop their heads as items. Wear the head and it will take a lot longer for the mobs to even notice you. An even deeper secret comes from the creeper head. Use a creeper head in a firework recipe, and the explosion will take the shape of a giant creeper's face. Everyone has heard of the legendary Mushroom Islands. These are the rarest biome in the game, with a 2% spawn rate. But there is something even rarer, this giant mushroom continent. And if you thought these grids are meant to show chunks, you're dead wrong, because this goes on for nearly 800 chunks. Hold on a second, why does it look like Australia? You've always heard people say that only noobs dig straight down because you're never gonna know where you're going. So how likely is it you die a horrible death? Well, according to Minecraft, 1 in 150, because this is the probability that you dig straight into lava. Wait, that's only a 0.67% chance! It can't be that bad. Somebody help me, for God's sake! Back in 2018, some players had the luck of a god and found 2 seas that had filled end portals. But some coders weren't satisfied with this and decided to take this one step further. By taking advantage of Minecraft world generation and some Einstein-level math, they increased the number of seas to 65,534 on this site. You might not believe me, but it's possible to X-ray through the entire ocean without downloading any external help. All you need is a potion of night vision. Chug this down and immediately go into your settings to turn your brightness to 50. This allows you to see for miles without the danger of Mojang unaliving you in seconds. Finding ocean monuments, geodes, strongholds, and ultimately insane amounts of treasure has never been easier. Alerting skulk sensors is one of the most horrifying experiences in the game. And there's there's a huge probability that you'll die and lose all your goodies. But this is easily fixed by setting up an infinite sound machine. Just place down a skulk sensor, redstone repeater, and trapdoor. Not only does this prevent the warden from chasing you, but it'll give you enough time to sweep through the entire ancient city. Why the hell does this work so well? I bet you never knew how weird coal generation really is. Usually, Minecraft creates 2 batches of coal per chunk, with each batch existing at different Y values. One of these exists between Y equals 136 and Y equals 256, while the other is between Y equals 0 and Y equals 192. This gives us a perfect estimate for where we can find the most coal, which is from Y equals 136 and Y equals 192, since the ranges for both batches will overlap at these values. But most times, this generation isn't equal, and blobs spawn randomly, with most of them being found at Y equals 96. Now you know exactly where you should be farming it. And if you're super rich, try building this design with iron bars, cobwebs, and magic potion dispensers below the ground. If you rig this tripwire up to shoot damage potions, it'll really send a message to robbers, and it's a cool piece of decoration too. A great way to protect your base from both mobs and players is to hide pufferfish underground around your base. Moss carpets are a super easy way to sneak them into your decoration, and waterlogging even allows you to hide them in bushes and trees. Ow! Oh god, I'm getting flashbacks! If you're feeling really mean though, the best way to deal with thieves isn't to kill them, but trap them permanently. Using a simple piston trap, you can force a player into a bubble elevator like this, surrounded in obsidian. Due to the bubbles pushing them around, it'll be almost impossible to mine it even with a pickaxe. Okay, everybody knows about the painting entrance by now, but what if we use that to our advantage? All people do is walk into the painting to see if there's anything hidden, but this painting has a pressure plate behind it you can activate with an item. I guarantee you, nobody will find this one. Let's face it, everybody's realized that amethyst is pretty useless, so I don't think anyone would mind you setting up camp inside one. They're the perfect size to fit all your decorations in, and crimson wood goes perfectly with the amethyst color. That's just cherry wood if you're living in the future. Gathering materials for a base can take forever. Why not just cut that part out entirely? Leaves are the fastest block to collect in the game, so just shear a bunch of them and build your house out of those. I'd make sure to set up a few lightning rods though, because that could go very wrong.